And action.
And action.
We should get a clapboard.
We should. Every time we start, just...
I used to have one from McDonald's. Like this big. You ever...
Make Madison get up every podcast and do it in front of the thing. Every podcast.
Did you ever get one? Like there was like this big that came in a Happy Meal. It was like a little clapboard. And you could write on it with chalk.
Like why?
And then I lost it. I don't know. I was like 10.
That would be a good idea. We should do that. Yeah. We should do like a clapboard with our movie on it for the and our creator profile for the episode.
It's like this episode.
Good ideas, Karen.
How much is a clapboard? I'm about to check this out.
Check it out.
It's like The Mask, and then it's like 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, but we don't know who the creator profile is though. Usually,
Yeah.
Typically, but why not know? It doesn't really matter.
It's true.
Bitches.
Movie clapboard.
How much are they?
They are
$12.
Hey, for a acrylic one, it's $24. But for a wooden one, that you can write on with chalk, it's $9.
I want the wooden one you can write on with chalk.
Right?
Yeah, I want the wooden one. That sounds great.
12 by 11. That's a 12 by 11.
It doesn't have to be very big. I mean, you're just putting it in front of the camera. Honestly, it could be the size like this. Click.
If you want to get an acrylic one that looks like a chalkboard, it's $22.
Why wouldn't you just buy a chalkboard?
Yeah. Just buy a chalkboard.
Well, you need a chalkboard, but it has to have the clapper thing at the top.
The clapper thing.
Just cut it.
That's the important. That's the important part. If you just have a chalkboard, then you just have a chalkboard.
What do they call those, anyways?
No, like the chalkboard version.
It's a clapboard, yeah.
What?
Not the acrylic one that looks like the wooden clapboard.
Mama.
Like the actual one that you write on with chalk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
$9.
Yeah, that one's $9.
But you said for like $22, you can get an acrylic one that looks like the wooden one.
Yeah, that's what, I know.
Why would you buy that?
That was my joke. It's like, why would somebody pay $22? It's $1 less than the one that doesn't look like the wooden one.
That's dumb.
Uh-huh.
Just get the wooden one for $9.
Just get like those mini chalkboards. Somehow cut it at the top. And then, just like use that as like the little clapper thingy. Just go like.
Nah, that's way too much work. For $9, I can pay somebody to do it.
By the way, this is Jack. This is Karen and Jeremiah's son.
Yes.
He joins us today for The Mask, and he is really excited to be here.
He's wanted to do this for a long time.
Tell him a little bit about yourself, Jack. Never mind. Let's keep going. He's like, all right, so this is how we're doing it. Joseph's an asshole.
Get used to it. That's pretty much how this rolls.
I'm not surprised that Joseph said that.
You should have seen it coming, man.
I should have.
Yeah.
I blame myself for that one. I blame myself for not expecting that.
All right, welcome back. We are the Bonsai Movie Crew. As I just said, Jack is here today.
Oh, 1/2.
Huh?
1/2.
1/2.
1/2. Me and him aren't official members. I'm just filling in.
I mean, you've been here enough now. Fuck it, dude. You're here.
I guess if I'm replacing Madison every other week.
Yeah, you're gonna at least.
Except not on RoboCop. My fucking luck.
Cocksuckers. I don't know. If we draw RoboCop, we're like, man, we'll put that one back, or like we'll do that one next week.
We'll do that one when
we can hold it. We'll hold it.
Yeah, we'll hold it
in a non-Madison week.
That's a special one for Jeremiah.
I love
and non-Eric week, special one for me.
You gonna watch RoboCop?
So Eric, after this week, Eric should be back permanently. I think.
I think so too.
Unless he's got something else going on. I don't know.
Boo.
I'm just kidding, Eric.
He's like, you don't listen to the podcast. It doesn't even matter. He doesn't listen. Anyway, don't forget to check out our socials, our TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. What's the other one?
TikTok,
X.
Yep,
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Twitter. Just say Twitter.
That's X.
It's X now.
It doesn't matter.
People still call it Twitter.
Twitter's water.
Nobody is going to go with his
Twix.
X.
Just call it
bullshit.
Twix, yeah.
Not the candy
I'm
bar.
just calling it what it is, man.
Twix.
Change the name.
Yeah, we're gonna call it Twix.
And Twix is my favorite. Which one? The social media or the candy?
Right.
Candy bars.
Also, don't forget to check out our Discord because Karen don't, and I need somebody to talk to in there. I've posted so many trailers this week, and nobody has said a fucking word to me about them. I even comment on every one of them like, this one looks cool, right, guys? Nothing.
I am usually very good about it. It's just been a hell of a couple of weeks. I'm so sorry.
Nobody talks to me in there.
I'm so sorry.
Fucking, why do I
Usually
have,
I am. I'm usually very good about it, but this past couple of weeks have been hell. I'm sorry.
It's so funny too, because I will too. I'll post something in there, and then I'm like going through and scrolling, and like, has anybody said anything? Like scrolling through everything, like, wow, I've been posting this fucker for like a week.
I've actually been going through. I've actually been going through like my arsenal of TikToks because I haven't been able to make any new ones. So I'm actually like, oh god, I gotta post one.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just gonna have to use my old ones.
What?
Fucking Spaceballs too.
No, that ain't real.
That is not real. It'd be too late for a sequel.
They couldn't do it anyway.
Yeah.
Not without the man himself.
No.
Well, I just seen one of the Discord posts.
What's his name that
posted
played
that?
the
Alec.
He must have just posted that then.
what's the actor's
6:15.
name?
Yeah. Huh?
What's the actor's name that
Rick
played
Moranis.
Rick Moranis? Yeah. Didn't
You should know him by. That should be your second dad, man.
He actually does know a lot of them. It takes him a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't he die? I'm pretty sure
No,
he died.
no, you're
No, he
thinking
got
of
beat up a few years ago. Somebody.
See, he got punched.
He got punched in the back of the
That's
head.
not getting beat up.
Getting
block
punched-
off.
Getting punched in the back of the head could probably kill you.
For him,
Yeah,
as
I
old
think
as he
it-
is, maybe, yeah.
Depends on where they hit, I
Steve
guess.
Buscemi got beat up.
Hitting someone really
He was
hard
in
in
the-
the
he
back of the
actually went
neck
to
could kill
hospital,
you.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know who should get beat up?
Who?
Mm,
Drew Barrymore.
Jesus.
Who's that?
He hates
Ruby
Drew Barrymore.
Rose.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore, dude. I would love for, like, I don't know, Gina Carano to come on and just beat the shit out of her. I'd pay to see that. Actually, give me that instead of Mike Tyson versus that
I don't know why you hate
Paul
her so
guy.
much. She's
Jake Paul?
fine.
Or-
She's
Jake
nice.
Paul. Yeah, is that his name? Jake Paul or
It's either Jake Paul or
Yeah, it's Logan. I
Logan.
think.
Logan
Logan
Paul.
Paul.
Yeah,
I was
gonna say, I thought Logan
yeah,
Paul was the
Logan
fighter.
Paul. Logan
they're
Paul's
both.
the fighter. Logan
One of
Paul's
them's in
the
wrestling and the other one's in boxing.
Oh.
fighter.
I think Logan
Jake
Paul's the
in
boxer, isn't he?
Jake Paul is in wrestling?
Yeah, he
thought he
does.
was-
He does wrestling.
Oh. Thought he was in
I only know this because he's got a podcast and he interviews like a bunch of the other better wrestlers, like Rhea Ripley, like that goth chick that's on there. It's like built like
I know
a dude.
like nothing about wrestling anymore.
I don't either. I just know what I see on like TikTok and YouTube. So, but anyway, let's move on here. Let's get into our creator profile. I bet you all know who it is.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Best
Why
act.
wouldn't he?
Top 5 actors in my ranking.
Okay.
That's
Jim
not
Carrey.
that's not a bad assessment though. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
He's not. I mean, I'm
He's
not
at
saying
he's
he's a
at
great
least
actor.
he's at least a good 2. He's at least a good 2.
Watch the Sonic movies.
He hasn't seen him yet.
No. He
Oh,
wanted
wow.
to, and then they announced a sequel, and he's like, "Oh, watch
That's
the
when
sequel."
that's when I wasn't into movies. I'm more of a movie
And
watcher
then we
now.
told him we ain't watching the sequel unless you watch the first.
You gotta watch the first.
because he has a tendency to watch.
I'll watch it on the weekend.
sequels.
I'll watch it
Just
on the
watch
weekend.
watch them both. They're both entertaining as shit. They're both.
I'll
great
watch them on
movies.
the weekend. Okay, I'll watch them on the weekend.
He's coming
Not-
back
not
for the
this
third
weekend.
one.
Not
Yeah,
this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's coming back for the third one.
Uh,
He said he
we can
retired
watch
from
it next
acting,
weekend.
but then he's like, "No, I'll come back and do another one." Why wouldn't you, dude?
Well,
You're a
James
great.
Marsden, he said, "Sign me up. You guys want to do 55 of them? I'll be on all 55."
Fuck yeah, he
of
knows
them."
that it's a bankable. It's a good paycheck. He's
Yeah, it
like,
wasn't
yeah.
actually 55, but he says as long as they keep making them and they ask me to come
Hell
back,
yeah.
I'll come back.
I like
Uh,
James Marsden.
Karen, do you want to do
I
the
can do it,
movie
yeah.
or the creator profile?
I can do it.
Okay. Jim
Aha.
Carrey.
Did you settle on one yet?
Yeah, I told you which one I was going to do.
What first? Your favorite?
Yeah.
I'm still up in the air.
But you better figure it
I know.
out.
I need to figure it out. I'm going to look at his IMDb right now.
Better think of your favorite Jim Carrey movie because that's the question we ask at
We
the
already
end.
know what
and save
his
it for
is.
the end.
Yes, don't say it now.
We already know what it is.
Calm down. Who is Jim Carrey? Comedian and actor Jim Carrey was born in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada on January 17th, 1962. Carrey relocated to Los Angeles to pursue comedy, eventually landing a spot on the sketch comedy show In Living Color.
I don't even know why I didn't think of this one.
He went on to huge box office successes in comedies, including Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, The Mask, and delivered acclaimed dramatic performances in The Truman Show, Man on the Moon, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
I
Mind.
fucking hated the Man on the Moon.
I
I don't think I ever saw that one.
It's
so-
just fucking Andy Kaufman.
Oh, I know, and I couldn't
Bio
stand
Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
I
Yeah.
never watched any movies on that list except for The Mask, and what was the first one that you said?
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura.
Eternal Sunshine's good though.
Yes, it's very good. His later films include Kick-Ass 2 and Dumb and Dumber 2. Early life and career. Actor and comedian
Just
James
watch Dumb and Dumber.
Eugene
Yeah,
Carrey.
I said that. I said it
Well,
in
we
my
already
mind.
said when he was born and where. Carrey got his start with a spot doing stand-up at a Toronto comedy club when he was just 15 years old. By 1979, he had left the factory job as a janitor and he had taken in 1978 to help support his family and was making his living as the opening act for successful comics Buddy Hackett and Rodney Dangerfield. In 1983, Carrey headed west to Hollywood where he starred in a made-for-television movie called Introducing Janet. Carrey's appearances on TV and programs such as The Duck Factory and Jim Carrey's Unnatural Act led to a regular role in the hit comedy In Living Color, which was fucking hilarious.
He was one of the best parts of it.
I don't think-
Yeah,
I
what
don't
was
think
it?
I ever watched that.
Oh, it's
Fire Marshal Bill.
Fire Marshal
Fire
Bill.
Marshal
Oh
Bill was
my
have
amazing.
you
god.
put that on my list yet? Because I don't.
I
it's-
can
it's-
add
it's
it, but it's
his
really hard.
video,
Your
Also,
dad
his
would probably
parody
have to
of
find
Ice
it.
Ice Baby was awesome.
Oh my! Oh, and what was the one? Informer.
Yeah,
The
Imposter.
imposter.
Yeah, or the one where he was the aerobics person.
Oh yeah, and he's got like
And
the
he's-
pigtails.
Yeah, he's got the
on.
pigtails and he's standing like this.
Yeah, he's got like that little tube shirt on. Yeah.
It's fucking
That's
awesome.
hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was a sketch show.
It was
So
like Saturday Night
It's
Live.
not
Yeah.
streaming
So-
anywhere.
Oh, it's not.
Your
That
dad would
sucks.
probably have to get it for you.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
so fucking
Would it be
good,
on
though.
like Blu-ray or something?
Yeah, he could probably get it for you.
Probably DVD or something.
DVD
or
It's
Blu-ray.
because I don't. Yeah.
It was a really funny show. Carrey's big screen debut with 1984's Finders Keepers, but he didn't find success until he played the title role in 1994's comedy Ace Ventura. From there, Carrey's expressive face, expert mimicry skills, and physical brand of comedy kept the hits coming. He followed with The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, Batman Forever, The Cable Guy, and Liar Liar. Carrey took a successful dramatic turn as Truman Burbank and Peter Weir's The Truman Show,
Great movie.
I've seen it once. It was so cool.
I haven't seen most of the stuff that you said on this list, but I have seen
They never
like
mentioned-
5 things: Pet Detective, Liar Liar.
Definitely
I
in his
forgot the
top
other
5.
ones.
Those two are definitely his top 5.
Yeah, those
Liar
three.
Liar is fucking hilarious
Liar
too.
Liar.
Liar
Liar's
Liar's
great.
definitely got to be
My
like
daddy
solid
is a liar.
You mean a lawyer, sweetie?
He's like,
They-
well, he
they-
wears a suit and talks to the judge. Oh, you mean a lawyer?
They didn't mention Earth Girls or Edie, did they?
Probably
No,
not.
No, because
they should have.
They just went into his like '90s stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Because he didn't really get big till Ace Ventura and The Mask, and
Mhm.
that's where he really became a bankable comedian.
Yeah. He won a Golden Globe Award for The Truman Show, Best Actor. He then teamed up with legendary director Miles Forman for the Andy Kaufman biopic Man on the Moon, co-starring Courtney Love. For his dead-on portrayal of Kaufman, Carrey took home his second Golden Globe. Despite his Golden Globe success, he didn't earn a nomination for the Academy Award. Still, he became one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood with a reported asking price of $20 million. Me, Myself, and Irene, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Eternal Sunshine. In the summer of 2000, Carrey portrayed a character with 2 dueling personalities, both in love with the same woman, in the comedy Me, Myself, and Irene. That fall, wearing pounds of green fur and makeup, he starred as the titular curmudgeon in the long-awaited big-budget film version of Dr. Seuss's holiday classic How the Grinch Stole Christmas, directed by Ron Howard. In 2003, the actor starred as a man endowed with godlike powers in Bruce Almighty, with Jennifer Aniston. The following year, Carrey starred opposite Kate Winslet in Charlie Kaufman's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Fun with Dick and Jane and Dumb and Dumber 2. Carrey continued to take on a variety of comedic roles, starring in such films as Fun with Dick and Jane, A Christmas Carol, Mr. Popper's Penguins. He also enjoyed supporting parts in The Incredible Burt Wonderstone with Steve Carell, Kick-Ass 2, and Kick-Ass 2. In 2014, Carrey reteamed with Jeff Daniels for Dumb and Dumber 2.
He was so underutilized in Kick-Ass 2. They could have used him so much more.
I think he didn't want to though. Like once he got,
I don't think he liked the movie.
He didn't because of the violence. I think that was part of the reason why he retired from acting, because it was just getting out of control. And yeah, he didn't care for it.
Kidding. In 2018, Carrey made his way onto the small screen in the Showtime comedy series Kidding, a story about a celebrated children's TV host named Jeff, aka Mr. Pickles, whose family life begins to unravel much faster than he's able to handle. Before Kidding, Carrey was working behind the scenes on Showtime as an executive producer for the dramedy I'm Dying Up Here. Following a 3-year-plus break from the big screen, Carrey returned in early 2020 to play the evil Dr. Robotnik in an adaptation of the popular 1990s video game Sonic the Hedgehog. Paintings. While his career as a big screen star waned, Carrey began pursuing his painting hobby in earnest. In 2017, he released a 6-minute documentary, I Needed Color, in which he explained his passion for art and showed off his completed works. In 2018, Carrey came under fire for tweeting an unflattering portrait of someone who resembled White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, with the caption, "This is the portrait of a so-called Christian whose only purpose in life is to lie for the wicked, monstrous." A spokesperson confirmed that the piece was rendered by Carrey, but did not confirm whether or not Sanders was the subject. Personal life and daughter. Carrey has a daughter, Jane, from his marriage to Melissa Womer from 1987 to 1995. He was married briefly to Dumb and Dumber co-star Lauren Holly before entering a year-long romance with Me, Myself, and Irene leading lady Renee Zellweger. He was later involved with actress/model Jenny McCarthy. Oops. 2015, Carrey's girlfriend.
Whoops.
Yeah. Sorry,
But
that
she's hot, though.
slipped out.
Didn't we talk about? Didn't last week somebody was married to Jenny McCarthy?
In a relationship.
Wahlberg.
with-
Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie
Yeah.
Wahlberg,
I think he's actually still married to her.
No, he was married to somebody else by the end of it.
Oh, okay.
In 2015, Carrey's girlfriend, Catriona White, died from a drug overdose and what was ruled as suicide. Both White's estranged husband and mother sued Carrey for wrongful death, though the charges were eventually dismissed. Well, that ended on a terrible note.
Yeah, I know that's one of the things that really drove him kind of over the edge, was that the death of his wife. I know it fucking destroyed him. So, and it was one of those things that really drove him into painting and kind of getting away from acting a little bit, was whenever his wife died. It drove him into like a really deep depression and shit.
The saddest.
Mostly because of all the backlash and shit that he got from like her family and everything else, and he took a lot of heat for it.
The saddest feeling ever has to be losing a loved one, because like you've known them for all your life. I'm talking about like a family member or like part of your life, and then they just die out of nowhere, and then it just really breaks your heart, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Shit just got deep.
Well, I mean, your wife or whatever, you plan to spend your whole life together, and
then
you're left
Yeah.
holding the bag, I mean, I imagine. And then on top of it, you got her family and everybody else blaming you for it.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's insane.
All right, well, on a lighter note, so for this one, we're going to do favorite movie and favorite character, because let's face it, he's done some great characters and some great movies. So we're going to go to favorite character, favorite movie. So we're going to start with Jack.
I have to say Liar Liar is my favorite movie, because I think it was probably the first Jim Carrey movie I ever saw.
It was.
And that's where my love for Jim Carrey started as an actress. Like, for him being an actor.
Hey, it's 2024.
I liked it.
He might be an actress.
Yeah.
No.
No. You don't know.
If he turns into an actress, then I'm not liking him anymore. He's definitely over my top
where Jack
10.
stands.
So, actor, like he's one of my favorite top 5 actors, and obviously my favorite character in the movie has to be what was his name.
Is that your favorite character that he plays too? Was in
Mhm.
Liar Liar?
Like your favorite movie could be Liar Liar, but
You can also pick like his favorite character could
I know.
your favorite character could be Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
How many of his movies have you seen?
I think
Liar Liar, Ace Ventura, Bruce Almighty,
Bruce Almighty,
The Mask.
The Mask. I think
I've only
that's
seen
it.
4 movies of him. Unless you include Liar Liar again, then that'd be 5.
Yeah, he's watched that twice.
I watched it twice. Yeah, it's a great movie. I'd have to watch it twice.
Out of those 4,
And my favorite character that Jim Carrey played was probably I'd have to say probably Bruce Almighty, because that movie was also really good. And like he had an amazing character.
Okay.
It's
All
pretty
right,
good.
Karen.
Well, my movie's really off the wall. I don't think anybody cares for it or likes it or.
Is it 23?
I like that movie a lot.
I asked my brother earlier. I was like, "Hey, your favorite Jim Carrey movie?" He was like, "Well, it ain't 23."
I like that movie a
number
lot.
23.
Hmm
Yeah,
I liked it.
I like
It's
that
been
movie.
years since I've seen it.
I don't care for it.
No,
It's okay.
not a lot of people did. I just liked I liked.
Most people didn't like it though because of the ending.
Yeah, and I think that's why I did like it, because you see this total transition in him. I liked how he portrayed that person. So it was more about how he acted in that movie, not so much the movie or the plot itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can't shake
He-
your head.
The way he acted in that movie was amazing to me.
Right.
But as far as
I can. because he
characters, I
acts
think
great
I
in
liked
any
his
movie.
character in Liar Liar, Fletcher Reed. I loved that guy.
Okay. Jeremiah.
Maternal Sunshine would be the movie.
Favorite movie.
Favorite character, probably Fire Marshal Bill.
You know, honestly, I never thought about that.
That character was a tits.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
he was.
He was.
Holy shit. I didn't
Could
even
you
think
imagine having to have your neck like that for the whole time?
about- Yeah.
Oh,
God damn it! You just spun my shit out of control.
Like what?
So I think my favorite
Fire Marshal
movie.
Bill would do this the whole time. He's like camera.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Ugh."
That's one of the things about Jim Carrey is he was like an elastic man kind of.
Oh, I know. Like
He could do shit with
it
his body
hurts.
that nobody else could do.
It hurts.
He's like
Coming out
Mr.
of the ass
Fantastic.
of a rhino.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen that one yet,
Oh yeah.
He's,
Yeah, you haven't
he's
seen
like
that
he's
one.
like he's like Mr. Fantastic.
honey. Get close.
He's like Mr. Fantastic because Mr. Fantastic is like really like elastic. Like he can hit people from very far, and yeah.
Except Jim Carrey's, he can't hit people from very far, but he does seem rubber.
I think that mine would be my favorite movie of his is probably Cable Guy. I love Cable
I've
Guy.
only seen it once. It was okay.
Yeah, that's how
I like it because it's dark. It's a dark comedy, and he doesn't do a lot of dark comedies. He mostly just does comedy.
straight.
And the dark comedy thing, like, yeah, it's just fucking hilarious. The movie's great. Plus, it has Jack Black and. But as for character, man, dude, you threw me for a loop on that one. Character, because originally I was gonna say my favorite character of his is probably gonna be Me, Myself, and Irene, which is kind of another.
See,
dark
that was another one that I thought
comedy.
was okay.
Really? You didn't think he was great in that? Oh my god! But now that you said Fire Marshal Bill, like you opened a whole other door. I'm going to go with Jeremiah on this. I'm going to go Fire Marshal Bill. He's fucking hilarious, dude. Or he could even be the parody of fucking Vanilla Ice whenever he did the Ice Ice Baby thing.
What was his name in Liar Liar that he
Fletcher
played?
Reed.
Fletcher Reed. Yeah, he'd also have to be my favorite character from it.
The pen is
Just-
blue.
It's so hard to pick though because
pen
Jim
is
Carrey's
blue.
got banger after banger. Ace Ventura, The
goddamn
Mask.
pen is blue.
I mean, The Mask. I've seen this movie a fucking 100 times at least. Ace Ventura, same thing.
I was quoting it the entire fucking time.
Yeah,
you were
dude,
watching.
I know every line to the
I
fucking
literally,
That's what I'm saying.
I think
Yeah.
I've only seen The Mask once.
I'm pretty sure that
honestly.
was like one of my when I first bought my DVD player back when
One of the first movies you probably
that was
owned.
probably one of the first ones.
Yeah.
And
That movie's just. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll gush on it here in a minute.
was I gonna say?
I don't know.
I forgot.
What the hell have you been watching?
So anyway, let's move on here and let's get into what everybody watched this week. Let's start with Jack. What'd you watch this week, man? Don't
Like
overthink
movie
it.
wise?
Movies, TV, yeah.
I think I only watched The Mask. Because I only think I watched.
You're looking at your mom. Jesus.
No. Last Friday. I don't know if this counts as this week. I watched.
Technically, yeah. We usually go from podcast to podcast.
I watched Friday the 13th Part 3. So
I'm sorry. How'd that feel?
good.
2 and 3.
Two and 3. Sorry. And yeah, I think Part 3 should have a bigger rating than Part 2. Part 2 is an 8.5. I gave Part 3 a 9 because they're really
A
good
9?
movies. Yeah, I like them.
We try to tell him.
Out of 100, right?
We try to tell him that they just get progressively worse.
I'm pretty sure he's adopted.
I don't care if they get progressively worse. I
that's-
like them.
Those movies.
I
That's
like it.
actually Eric's 7th child.
I'm pretty sure he was adopted.
I like
It's funny because it's like looking at like a little Eric sitting there right now. Yeah. Next week, whenever Eric's back sitting in that chair, you guys just
It'll be
do
like
the comparison.
Aaron grew up.
Yeah, it's like he grew up.
Just-
He aged like 30 years or whatever. Not
If
30, but
Eric
25.
if Eric and Madison can't come here like again ever, just
Again, ever.
no.
Wow. What are you trying to say, man?
Like ever. I mean, like in the future, if they can't come here for like the podcast day, just text my mom if I want to come here. I will because I like being on the podcast so far. It's fun.
Okay. I'll keep that
I'll be
in
a
mind,
replacement at some point.
So
Jeremiah's like, hold on, bitch. That's my spot.
There's a waiting
Wasn't
list.
Madison going into the Air Force or the Navy
Next
or
year.
something?
Yeah, next year.
And then
She'll leave right after high school ends. Actually, she's talking like, well, if I graduate, Dad, I can leave even sooner. I'm like, why don't you just rush to get the fuck out of here?
here, let me go pack your shit then.
Yeah, let me go pack your shit.
It's all on the front lawn.
Yeah, buy your own fucking storage unit.
it's all in your truck.
He ain't gonna store that shit in the
Nope,
strap.
fuck no.
He's got to use that for his job.
That's right. Her job is the Air or the Navy now.
Oh, the Navy?
Yeah, the Navy. Sorry, did I say Air Force?
I thought it was the Air Force.
Well, at first it was the Air Force, but she changed her mind.
I knew
a few
it was
months
one
back.
of them, so I just
It's the Navy
threw out.
now.
I'd only ever heard the Air Force.
She wants
She's
to
going
join
into the
Navy.
military.
Yep, Navy, and then she's gonna get out and be a cop. I'm proud of her.
I don't blame her.
Her.
Yeah.
Good for
Yes, we back the blue. I'm fucking sorry for being an American and believing in justice.
Hey,
Back the blue for
I'm
sure. Like,
American
if
too. I don't get why people slander us.
something happens, like, I'm calling the
Yeah, I
cops.
call the cops. I don't call my neighbors. I call the cops.
Well,
Anyway.
first I pull my gun.
Right? Yeah, because we're American.
If it's jammed, then that's when you call the cops.
Yeah.
If it's jammed, I'm gonna shove it up his ass.
And then I'll call the cops.
Then I'll call the cops.
He
He's
tripped.
here. He's here.
Shove it up there,
But his ass might
somehow
hurt a little
unjam
bit.
it.
He tripped.
Where was I at? Oh yeah, is that all you watched?
Yeah.
Okay, Karen.
The Mask and Friday.
Obviously, yeah.
I had to watch Friday the 13th, too.
I mean,
Sorry.
you didn't have to. I just
he forced you into
requested it.
He's like, well, when it's
Well-
she's like, well, when it's on my TV.
Yeah.
Here you go. He's a. Can we watch the fourth one on Sunday, which was Father's Day? I'm like, hell no.
Hell no, this is my day.
I said I'm gonna be a part of it. Then I'm gonna watch it when I want.
I asked, like, when we were having dinner, when we were about to come over here, I asked my mom if we can watch it on, like, Friday or the weekend, and she said we can't do the weekend. And so I just asked if we could do Friday, and she said we'll see.
Trying to get through it, man.
Hold on.
Great movies.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Here, wait, I got
It's a good
one.
movie.
You're killing me, Smalls.
None of them make sense.
I don't care if they,
They
don't
just
make
don't
sense.
make like sense in the scheme of like their back-to-back movie. They're supposed to be like
Well, in
Sequels
the
and,
first
like-
four, they always flash back.
Yeah,
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 they
like
do
they're
a
supposed to
recap of the
connect
ending.
somehow, but they don't.
they
the
don't.
part
yeah.
the part two
Which one was
flashback-
it that she has telekinetic powers? Is that the sixth one?
The
I think it's the sixth
Talking-
one.
Are you
that
talking
was the
about-
one where he got awakened by lightning, wasn't it?
Fuck, I don't remember.
Maybe it
I think
was
I've deleted them from memory. Like,
I think that was the sixth
I don't know
one. She had
why, but
telekinesis.
I
I
feel like
think so.
see this.
I feel like you're
seventh.
talking about Jason X.
no.
No, that's in space. That's the best one.
Yeah, it really is.
That is the
I
best
haven't
one.
I haven't watched it, but I saw like a dead meat kill count on it.
It goes
and
full camp. It's great.
Yeah, they just embrace it.
I
at that
genuinely
point.
like the nitrogen kill.
Yeah, that one's my
Yeah,
favorite.
that's
Liquid
one of the best
nitrogen.
kills of the movie.
Yeah,
It's one
like
of the best kills. Period.
I
Like
feel-
that is
I
a
don't know-
badass kill.
I don't know why, but my mom knows this joke, but I just feel like Jason sounds like yo. You should have seen that coming, Joseph.
Wait till you see the fifth one.
Which one's
The
that?
one that to me is
That's
the
one with Tommy,
stupidest.
isn't it? Where he's grown up.
Tommy, no,
I think
feel
so.
Tommy.
I
Yeah.
think that's where it starts.
Yeah, because he's the kid in the fourth one,
He's a kid in the fourth one,
and then
played
he's
by
grown up in
Corey.
the fifth one.
That's-
He
yeah.
killed-
Yeah,
he
'cause,
kills
What's his
Jason.
name?
Yeah, the fourth one.
Played it. That's the one that had Crispin Glover in it.
The f-
The
fourth,
fourth
one,
one,
did,
yeah.
Yeah, but it was fucking
Dancing
one
all
of the
weird.
Corys.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah,
Corey
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 Feldman.
Feldman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he plays.
he played young Tommy, and
Yeah.
then old Tommy was in the fifth one.
In the
but
fifth one,
the fifth one, I'm not gonna say it because I want him to be like, fuck.
yeah,
He
that one
won't.
was stupid. And then the sixth one,
Um,
that's right. The sixth one, him and the telekinetic girl is in that one,
Mm-hmm.
and that one's like
In the game,
they say it's one of the best ones, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that.
in the Friday the 13th game, you can actually call Tommy, and like a dead or escaped player can come back as Tommy and help the other counselors out, like help them find the battery or the gas for the car, and then
Like young
they can all
Tommy
leave.
or older Tommy?
older Tommy, because why would young Tommy be there
Because
with a
that'd be
shotgun?
awesome. Corey, little Corey Feldman, running around with a shotgun.
Yeah, I just the second one is the one that kills me because their whole explanation for him growing up is that he never died, but yet in the first
Yeah, he
one
was
they
living in
clearly
the
show him
woods.
coming up out of the water all decrepit and then they're like, oh no, he lived and he was in the woods this whole time watching his mom kill people. Well, okay, but if he was so like alive, then why wouldn't he come out and be like, I'm not dead, mommy, let's
Hey,
go
mom,
home.
look, I'm here.
And like
Yeah.
then she
Give me
wouldn't be
attention.
killing people. Then he could go home and have a decent home cooked meal, and everybody wins.
Yeah, at one point,
It doesn't make any sense. I
doesn't
know.
he fucking come back in the
Well, then-
sewer? Like somebody sees him in the sewer as a little kid again?
No, that's in the eighth
Or-
one. He dies in the sewer.
As the
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
as like if he came out in the woods and he was like, oh, I'm alive again, then one of the most famous series wouldn't exist.
I just think that they should just go with the idea that he's a deadite.
That's yeah.
Like, I think
but then it would negate the second one.
this random thought just came to me.
That doesn't matter because none of them are they don't. Not they're
I know.
Why were we talking about the mask? Then we just went to talking
All right,
about
anyway,
okay.
Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
what
right.
else
Well,
have you
okay.
seen?
So anyway,
We spent too much time on Jason fucking
Yeah.
Voorhees.
okay.
Yeah.
So we watched that Family Guy, and that movie we were talking about that we told you about was called the Kentucky Fried Movie. That's
It was
You
a
should
John
watch it.
Landis. It was a John Landis movie.
you should watch it.
Yeah,
It's funny.
Zucker's Abrams and Zucker production.
It's
Yeah.
pretty funny. And Along Came a Spider. Alex Cross movie.
Morgan Freeman.
One of the Morgan Freeman ones.
Yeah.
He's never seen them.
The
so-
chick that was
Monica
Nicolas
Potter.
Cage's
I seen
wife,
Monica Potter.
and
I seen one movie where
Jigsaw, Gordon's wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've only seen like one movie that has Jim Carrey and Morgan Freeman in it, and that's Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, good segue.
And technically, we were talking about a mask the entire time. Just the wrong mask.
Very much the wrong mask.
Uh,
Oh, all right. What'd you watch?
He doesn't want to stay on.
Or did you? Did
Well,
you say everything that she watched?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't watch this
anything yet.
that much this week. I had a busy fucking week. But I watched. We've been watching Dragon
that's a
Ball. We're
short
still
list for me.
I noticed that. Probably because fucking Friday the 13th had you out of the mood.
I was that scene in Yoda where he just dies because
They asked too many questions.
They asked too many questions. That was me.
Well, that's the end of my road.
I'm
I
done.
ran out of answers. No, I watched. Me and Jackson are still watching Dragon Ball.
Is it getting any less weird?
Yeah, it's less weird. Yeah.
All the weirdness don't bother me. I was just curious because I know.
Yeah,
I
it's
think the
getting
problem
less-
is watching it with his kid, though.
Yeah, I'm watching it with Jack. It doesn't bother me. I just don't want my 8-year-old to think that it's okay for old men to hit on 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Nah.
you know, but for me, I'm like, I understand that it's a cartoon
catch-
from
to catch a
Japan in the
predator?
80s. Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, so we've been watching that, and it's gotten better. I'm happier with it.
Whole block just-
I feel like it's going to segue back into the kind of
You was
pervy
security
stuff
guard.
because he's about to
Oh,
start
Mark was
training
a
with Master
security
Roshi. So I'm like, oh, more pervy shit.
Somebody should just do a mashup and just have Chris Hansen show up.
Have him pop out of the corner from time to time.
So we've been watching that. We watched a few episodes of Fresh Prince too. We're still working our way through season 2. I love the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, man. I feel I know eventually I'm gonna get, because I think there's only like 6 seasons.
God, it feels like there was a lot more.
I know
than
I feel
that.
like there's a lot more, but I was like, damn, there's only 6 seasons of this. But like I feel like at some point I'm gonna be like, all right, I don't want to watch any more of these for a while, so we're gonna switch it up and go watch like Family Matters. So,
It's gonna be the same.
I know.
I could actually watch Fresh Prince a lot longer than I can watch.
that's what
Family
I think
Matters.
too. But I love Carl.
Oh yeah. But
A
then
few
they get
years
to the point where
ago-
it's all about Urkel, and like
I
I can
know.
only handle so much of that.
A few years ago, I sat down. I tried to rewatch Saved by the Bell. I got all the way to the last season, and I just quit like a couple episodes in. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Saved by the Bell is something different though. Like
Yeah, I don't know how he did it. Like I watched
Yeah.
a couple episodes, and I'm like, I couldn't get into it back when it was on TV.
I
couldn't
love
do it
Saved by
now.
the Bell whenever I was younger, but I think watching it now would probably be a struggle for me.
I couldn't watch it when it was
Yeah,
on TV.
like everything. Full House.
Oh, I never liked Full House.
I
No,
only-
didn't
liked
either.
it. I watched it growing up, but like Full House.
They were always too.
Yeah, it's too good.
Too
preachy.
yeah. It was too
Like the episode
feel
where-
good, too bubblegum.
Yeah,
where,
right.
I-
DJ had the beer.
Kind of like the Brady Bunch was. Like, you're too goody goody, man. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I
I want a little bit of.
But I like old fucking sitcoms. Like one of my favorite sitcoms of all time is still to this day Sanford and Son. I love that show.
Never seen it.
Never seen it. It's
Never
awesome.
seen it.
I
Pretty
love
funny.
that show. It's so fucking funny, and it's not like it's not bubblegummy. You know what I mean? But it is also, and it's not like overly. It's not like the Cosby Show where it's like everything's prim and proper, blah blah blah. No, it's gritty. It's kind of like they don't live in the cleanest of homes and this and that. But
See,
it's
I
a great
never-
it's a great show.
I never really watched the Cosbys. Like I might have seen like an episode here or there, but it wasn't something that I just sat down and watched. Like,
Right.
yeah, fucking Bill Cosby, ha ha.
sex
nothing.
offender.
But I also we say that, but also I loved Home Improvement. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. And
But that wasn't all bubblegum.
but it wasn't all
either.
bubblegum because
You
there were things that happened in the show, and they were teaching you a lesson about that in the episode. And it was always Wilson giving the advice. Wilson was that neighbor over the fence, you know. And
like
it
this.
was
You
awesome.
never see his whole face.
Yeah,
They did once, didn't they? Finally reveal it.
Like
at
in the
one
last
point?
episode.
I don't think they ever did. Because
Oh,
even
I
whenever
thought
they
they
came
did.
out with their farewells, whenever they said bye to everybody at the very last episode, he came out with like a little
Oh,
mini fence
fence.
on a stick
Did he
in
really?
front of his face like this, bowing to everybody. It was so funny.
Whenever I got done with
Honey.
whenever I got done with Beverly Hills Cop, 1 to 3, I was sitting downstairs with my mom and we were talking about Beverly Hills Cop, and she showed me who played Beverly Hills Cop. What was his name?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
She showed me the like the open up comedy thing or this
I showed you the stand up.
the stand up comedy.
Eddie Murphy stand up?
Some of it.
Oh.
And they were talking about like the McDonald's one.
That's some
I got
dirty shit.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the I want to get some McDonald's.
He's
I'll
not
make
as
you,
bad
I'll make you
as-
McDonald's at home be just as good as that. And then she gives him that greasy ball of hamburger on Wonder Bread and like
He
sticks
still
to the Wonder
still
Bread.
isn't probably as dirty as like Martin Lawrence
Oh,
stand up.
yeah.
His stand up's pretty bad. Like his stand up is like he's talking about like how his woman just gave birth, and he's like, man, you're looking like he's talking about how good she looks. Like man, is it just me or is like whenever your woman gives birth, she like kind of turns you on a little bit, you know? Like she's in there on pain and like all sweaty and shit, just laying there like. And he's looking at her like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
No, it was the McDonald's one, and they're like, we got McDonald's, and you're sitting there with your homemade McDonald's. And then I showed him the Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood.
Yeah.
And one of the
Who is it?
Who is it?
Who is it? Yeah.
Okay, boys and girls, somebody's at the door.
Who is it? Yeah. It's the police.
Anyway, and then the last thing I watched was I started the new season of The Boys.
Oh God, I still gotta watch that.
You haven't watched any of it
No.
yet?
I've seen clips of it, but I've never watched like.
Treat. Don't let him watch it with you.
It's ending. After
Isn't it Homelander in that?
Is it?
Yeah.
Isn't it Homelander?
That's
Yeah, it's graphic as fuck, man. There's some shit in there that I'm like, the kids cannot watch. Like,
well, I don't remember if it was the first episode or the season finale of the first season, but there was something that they wanted to do that Amazon said absolutely not.
it might have been the first episode. There, dude.
He stands at the ledge of a building, and yeah, you can.
I know.
Yeah, she knows.
Was like a full swinging dong.
No, he wanted to jack off over the city.
Oh, yeah.
Amazon said absolutely not.
That's not even the worst thing, to be honest with you.
After a while, I think Amazon gave up.
Maybe,
no.
but
Yeah,
like
because
there's some
I
terrible
remember
fucking shit in that show. Like,
I remember seeing something, and they're like, "Yeah, like we tried." I think it was Eric Kripke
There.
said that we tried, and that was the absolute.
like,
thing
and you
that
if
they
you
would
watch
not allow.
Supernatural, dude, Supernatural, like you watch that, right? You've seen it. You know Chuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's full frontal naked in this one of the new
Oh yeah,
episodes.
yeah, I believe
Full
that.
frontal naked, jerking it like earmuffs.
It's fine.
He knows.
Jerking
He knows.
himself off and eating his own ass out because he can multiply.
I can still
Full
hear
frontal,
you.
full frontal, just dong everywhere. I'm like, and by the way, Chuck is hung. He might be God. That dude is hung, man. Like, is that CG or is that like, like, god damn.
There was this one clip where there's this like deaf dude, not deaf, like blind dude with like a blindfold around him, and he hears Homelander, so he's like, Homelander, is that really you? And Homelander acts all like glad that he can let like this dude has this power, but then he literally goes like this to his ears, and the dude.
Yeah, that
falls
was in
down.
season 2, I believe.
Yeah.
Might have been 2 or 3, I don't remember. I think it was
Homelander is
season 2.
so rude.
Yeah.
Like he's like a superhero, but he's also rude. Like he's like anti-hero.
No, you don't even know the extent of it, dude. Homelander is the worst fucking person. Like, he's a terrible fucking person in that show. Like you're gonna hate him, but you're gonna be like, but he's a great villain. He is like one of the best villains TV has ever produced. And I'm like, you are a terrible fucking person, and I love you for that because you give such like he's just that fucking bad.
Have you read the comics, or you just watch the show?
I just watched the show. I know a little bit I know what is different from the comics and the show. Like, there's a lot of differences in the show and the comics. So, and I know a lot of them. It's funny because, like, Huey, the guy who plays Huey is Jack Quaid. It's Dennis Quaid's son.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in the comic books, Huey is modeled after Simon Pegg. But Simon Pegg plays his dad in the show.
That's funny.
It's pretty funny. But yeah, it's a good show. If you haven't seen it yet, you guys need to sit down and just binge watch the fuck out of it. Because every episode you're like, what the fuck? Like, there's some fucked up. And then watch Gen V, too.
God, we got so much watching.
Well, you got
like,
so
many
the first 3
shows to
seasons
watch.
of The Boys. And I don't know if Gen V is going to tie into this season yet. Because I know they're going to tie the 2 shows in together. But watch the first 3 seasons and then watch Gen V. That's what I would do, because I don't know what they're going to do with this season yet, because they only have 3 episodes out. So I would wait, because they may tie some of that in with this season from what's happened in Gen V. Because I'm pretty sure whenever I watched like a preview of the season, I saw a couple of characters from Gen V in this show, in this season. And I don't want to, like, I wouldn't want you to, like, go in and watch all of that and then have to go back and rewind and watch something that, you know. So, but yeah, Gen V is just as good, too. It's actually, it's not as, like, it's still fucked up, too, in a lot of shit. Like, one girl can shrink down, and apparently this guy likes little people on his penis, so she's, like, straddling his penis like this. There's one part where a guy can shrink down. Well, a guy can shrink down. This was in The Boys last season. And another guy liked him to go up his, you know, pee hole. Well, I guess out of nowhere his powers did something wrong, and just like and the dude exploded.
The old Ant-Man Thanos.
Yeah,
theory.
that's exactly what it was. It was actually a reference to.
Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah.
Watch
So,
the crawl up Thanos.
and there are some things that reference pulp culture and shit that is so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. That and Jensen Ackles plays Soldier Boy. He's awesome.
Soldier
Like,
Boy.
he's a dick, but he's awesome.
Not the rapper.
I know.
But anyway, sorry. Show's fucking great. I don't want it to ever end, but I know it will eventually. But I just think it's a great show. It's fucking entertaining, and it gives just a great fucking different look at superheroes and how evil and maniacal they can be.
Yeah.
You know. So
Absolute
and that
power corrupts.
God complex that Homelander has and everything. So
I've only seen like speaking of shows, I've only seen like 4 or 3 episodes of Squid Game before like I completely cut it off because I wasn't interested in it anymore.
I'm sorry, because that's a good fucking show.
I just never really found any interest in it.
They finally released a teaser for season 2.
I never watched it.
It's good. It's really good. I think you guys would really like it.
I've watched it, but like I think
He was really into it for a hot minute.
I was really into it for like
It's
like
really
you
good.
said.
If you guys haven't seen it, I definitely suggest you guys check it out.
I
Like
just
even
think-
more so than like The Boys. I could see you guys being like, yeah, it's good, but it's but like Squid Game, like you guys would love that shit.
If
It's a really good show.
I look at it now, like if I revisit it, I'd say it's an okay show, but now like yeah.
I think it's definitely more appreciated by adults than kids might find it to be a little like, oh, this is kind of dumb, blah blah blah. But like as an adult, you're like, holy shit! Like it gets intense at points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We were
Anyway,
talking about
that's all I watched. Man, where are we at? 47. All right, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Doing all right. All right, let's move on here. Let's get into the movie.
Let's talk about the movie.
Oh boy! All right, so this week we watched The Mask, from 1990. Fuck, what year? 4.
1994.
4? Oh, I was right. 4. 1994.
1994.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. I watched it on Hulu. Because I thought I was going to have to rent it, and I didn't feel like doing all that. So I was like, for a movie I've seen 100,000 times, I don't want to rent it.
See, I own it on DVD, but back then, like if you would put it in a player, the picture's like this.
Oh, yeah.
You got like thick ass black bars like all around. it.
Yeah.
Plays
And then
a
you got to
little
zoom your
square.
fucking TV in.
Yeah, and then you lose half of the picture.
Yeah.
And the picture looks like shit.
Yeah, and DVDs just look like shit anyway. So compared to Blu-rays and
Burn your eyes.
yeah.
Kind of do. You seen fucking Nightmare on Elm Street on DVD and Blu-ray? It's a whole new.
I think I
world.
remember I gave you my fucking Nightmare on Elm Street box set, and then I bought it again. I still have it, I think. Do I?
I've kept all of mine.
I think
on
I do still have
VHS,
mine.
and I've got all of them.
Well, I think the reason why I still have it is because they haven't released it on fucking Blu-ray. They
Yeah.
haven't released the whole set on Blu-ray yet.
Which makes no
No
sense at all.
fucking sense.
They
No sense.
have.
They've released each movie, but they haven't released like a box set or anything.
Nah, I think they released the individual, like the first one individually, and then there was another one that had everything else in it.
Maybe they've released it since the last time I looked, but I want the whole series on Blu-ray in like a nice box.
What'll
set.
happen
Everybody's
is that,
hoping for a shout, like how they did the Friday the 13th.
which makes no
box
sense.
set.
Why would they put that shit out there?
Talk about
but
like
not-
the 8 movies in one case or whatever. I have. That's what I have for the Friday the 13th, and I hate that.
No. We got like a Shout box set.
Yeah, Shout did the box
It's
set,
like
and it's got each individual movie, and then
Any
it's got
movie
all
that
this
had the
extra
director's
stuff.
cut
and-
or the uncut versions
I'm
there.
pretty sure there's like 12 movies in that.
There's
thing.
the 3 is the 3D version. Like it has the 3D version.
Mhm.
So if you have a 3D setup, you can watch it like you watched it in the theater.
Mhm.
Well,
Really?
I thought.
legit
Yeah.
theater, like not red and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
thought.
if
You're talking about Jason?
yeah, if you got a VR headset,
Mhm.
like you could probably side load it, and you could watch the actual 3D version of Friday the 13th Part 3.
It's got all this extra shit that came with it and everything. And
Yeah,
then-
there's like a whole disc worth of bonus shit.
yeah.
There's
and
a
then
fucking book that comes with it.
we ended up, one of the discs was bad. 3 of them. Yeah, they were like, something was wrong with them or whatever, and they sent us new ones, and like, it was a whole thing. But that's what it, like, they need to, I don't understand why they come out with something like that for Friday the 13th and not Friday.
Well, I
Yeah.
think Shout did a Halloween box set too.
Well, I understand that, but why are we doing that for lesser franchises?
That's right. Lesser franchises
I'm saying.
than Nightmare on Elm Street.
I
You have
don't-
a coherent plot for 7
Yeah, there you
movies,
go.
except for, we're not going to talk about number 2. It doesn't exist for the plot.
Doesn't.
Number 2 should.
Not for the
That's-
plot.
That's what we have. The Friday the 13th box. Well, I have it, and she doesn't want no part of it. I'll take
That's
Yeah,
a very
you-
sweet looking box.
You have it.
now she wants to admit that.
I said you have it.
You have it, yeah.
Yeah, no. Every time
Damn,
I
$160.
said,
Mama.
I don't think I paid that much for it.
No,
Literally.
because we pre-ordered.
I think it was like 130.
Part 5 Jason is
That's
just
so
him
ridiculous.
being
I
a
think.
dream.
That's
the
pretty
whole
sweet
time.
box set, though.
Yeah, see, I
We're
said,
not going into this.
oh, if we ever get divorced, I'm taking these
Freddie
movies. She's
is-
like, you mean our movies?
now
But now
she
that
admits
I
it.
actually
You
have
got it on the
something
podcast.
that is
dude.
not
Battle
Yeah,
Wise.
that is not hers.
Like battle.
Yeah, I never said it
Like,
was
hold
mine.
on, let's go back to episode 90. What is this? 6? Episode 96, The Mask, at exactly
I will
51
never
minutes
claim
into
those
the
movies.
podcast. You
I told
said
you-
that this was mine.
I told you when you bought them.
Now
They're
you
your
can-
movies.
And I tell me when I buy them, they're my movies.
I just know
When
that
we get
I'm here-
divorced,
I'm here as
you
a
can
witness.
keep those.
So if I get called up on the
No.
stand,
When we get divorced, he can keep those.
No.
I'll take all the movies. You can have the kid.
Hey, no. If you guys get divorced before I finish,
you'll still come every Wednesday and
we're
every
not
other
getting
weekend.
I
divorced.
know, but if you guys get divorced before I finish the Friday the 13th franchise,
Oh,
I'm gonna get so mad.
Oh wow!
That's all
Wow.
he cares about.
That's all he fucking cares about.
And other movies.
Y'all motherfuckers can get divorced after I finish 8 more movies.
Wait till I finish that shit, then get divorced.
2 weeks later.
Damn.
All right, now you can get divorced.
Anyway,
I give you guys permission.
now that we're not getting, nobody's getting a fucking divorce. All right? Jesus Christ!
You're gonna make Joseph cry.
Mom and Dad's breaking up.
No.
No.
do the McDonald's cry. Ah!
You get Mom. I'm staying with Dad. He's
No,
got all the movies.
Alex thing.
He's got all the movies.
All right. Anyway, fuck, Karen.
And I only
you
said
got-
Friday the 13th, by the way. That's the only one that you keep.
Do you have a plot synopsis?
I do.
for us?
You want
No.
all my weird Japanese movies?
When timid bank clerk Stanley Ipkiss
Take your weird
discovers, I do
Japanese
not.
movie.
When timid
See?
bank
There we
clerk
go.
Stanley Ipkiss discovers a magical mask containing the spirit of the Norse god Loki, his entire life changes. While wearing the mask, Ipkiss becomes a supernatural playboy exuding charm and confidence, which allows him to catch the eye of local nightclub singer Tina Carlisle. Unfortunately, under the mask's influence, Ipkiss also robs a bank, which angers junior crime lord Dorian Tyrell, whose goons get blamed for the heist. 1 hour and 37 minutes, PG-13. Jim Carrey plays Stanley Ipkiss. Peter Green is Dorian Tyrell. Cameron Diaz is Tina Carlisle. Amy Yazbek plays Peggy Brandt. And that's as far as I'm going.
That's as far as you need to go.
I know.
Yeah. We're just cutting the rest off.
You know. All right. We're gonna go around the table. Would you watch? Would you recommend? Let's start with little man himself, Jack. What do you think, man? Would you watch and recommend?
Yes.
And yes. Yes and yes.
Yes, and yes.
yes.
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Karen?
Yeah.
Definitely a yes
Probably
and a yes
not for a
me.
while, but yeah.
This is always one of the movies that if you put it on, I'm probably going to watch it. Like, and if you
I
haven't seen
probably
it,
would too.
I think
Yeah.
this is only the second time I've ever seen it, to be honest.
Before,
what?
Really?
if we
Really?
if-
I think Cody was so obsessed with this movie that we were just like we watched it religiously all the
Like,
time.
I think I went to
watch it.
theaters to see it, and then I think that's the last time I saw it.
Really? Wow.
I didn't watch it religiously, but I'd watched it enough to where I can quote like essentially pretty much.
We
every
watched it a
scene.
lot. Like we especially back when we were teenagers and like kids. Like we could quote the fuck out of this movie. Like there was not a line we didn't know. We knew every bit of it. Yeah. There's nothing about this movie. we didn't
I was
know.
excited when we pulled out of the box just because I didn't remember it that well.
I remembered everything.
I remember everything. All right. Well, would you watch and recommend?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes and yes.
It's one of the movies that if you haven't seen it, you definitely need to watch it. Like it's a great, not just movie, but like it's also a great comedy and it's good for the family too. Like
I remember everybody
it's
walking around quoting
PG-13.
it.
It's
all the time.
PG-13, but it's not like heavy
There's nothing in there
PG-13.
that there's nothing in there that's like. I mean, if your kid gets those things, then you got bigger problems.
Right, exactly.
There's one scene that's not family friendly.
The condom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand why?
Yeah.
Because if you're wearing a condom, you ain't having no family.
Yeah.
But
All right. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move into our plot here and read this shit, and let's do that.
now you are allowed to interrupt while he's reading to make comments just
Related to the movie.
related to the movie. That's what we were talking about. Like, so stuff that you were thinking about during the movie or things related to the movie.
All right. Let me get a little juice in me.
Juice. I need juice.
All right.
I love
Stanley
I love
Ipkiss.
I love how he says
See,
that.
that juice is already
Juice?
fucking me up.
I love juice.
Stanley Ipkiss, played by Jim Carrey, a clerk at an Edge City savings bank, is a shy, good-hearted, luckless, romantic, everyday man who is regularly bullied by nearly everyone around him, including his boss, his landlady, Agnes Peenman, and car mechanics who rip him off. His only friends are his dog Milo and his co-worker Charlie Schumacher, whatever. Gangster Dorian Tyrell runs the exclusive Coco Bongo nightclub while plotting to overthrow his boss Nico. Tyrell sends his singer girlfriend Tina Carlisle, played by Cameron Diaz, into Stanley's bank with a hidden camera in preparation to rob the establishment. Stanley is attracted to Tina, and she seems to reciprocate.
Reciprocate. Is that what
What does
Yeah,
that
you
mean?
it means? Like she's attracted to him too. Like she's.
Oh,
Okay, so the whole like
so basically just like love at first sight.
the only
No, like-
issue that I have with this movie, and I think one of the reasons why I liked it as a kid, but I don't like it as much for this reason now, is the music. Like a lot of the music in it's fun, like the dancing parts and all that stuff. But like the regular background music for like whenever she comes, like not whenever she first walks in the door and they give you that like one of those things, like because like they're trying to show her attractiveness and blah blah blah. But like the more like the him walking around or her talking to him or him going into the car repair place and shit, they're playing that cheesy like low budget music in the background, and I can't fucking stand it because it reminds me of
I didn't
certain
notice
movies.
it, but
I
Yeah, I
know
didn't
some
notice
people
it,
probably
but-
don't notice it, but
I
I've
do. I
noticed
do
it.
in some
It's
movies.
like
I do. Like I
Public
do.
domain bullshit that
Kind of,
From
yeah.
somewhere
It
that's
reminds.
like,
It takes me back to that movie, like I said, with the little dinosaurs. Remember, I told you
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
cheesy
yeah, yeah.
fucking kind of music that you're like
Prehistoria. Or whatever.
Prehistoria.
Yeah.
And I just
No,
I can't stand that fucking music.
Yeah.
It just makes a movie.
Some
sound cheap
movies
to
I
me.
do notice it because I feel like I think the movies that I notice it in are movies that I feel like the music doesn't belong or it doesn't like.
They
it,
sound like
it
they make it
stands
sound
out.
like a cheap kids movie from like the early '90s. You know, like it was a fucking like the fourth, you know, Three Ninjas or whatever movie or something. You know, like
Didn't that one have all Hogan in it?
yeah, I think so.
Joseph.
And it
Oh
took
yeah,
place
they
in an
went to
amusement
like
park.
some amusement park.
Yeah.
I never watched that one, but I did. I remember seeing the cover.
I've never seen it, but I've only watched the first three. But I know maybe I should.
Joseph.
I stopped after
I
2.
just feel like they don't give Jim Carrey a script and then they just let him.
He
make
does.
his
He
own
does
lines.
improvise a lot of his lines and a lot of what he does. He improvises a lot.
Improvise.
But that's why in this movie,
Improv.
it's improv.
Yeah.
Because that's why, like in this movie, Liar, Liar, he does it a lot. He does it a lot in Ace Ventura.
So that reel you see at the end where like
Yeah, and Liar, Liar.
a lot of that was him improvising and them keeping
like him in the courtroom and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, he always improvises.
like that part when 109. Yeah, in your bra.
Groovy.
Okay, so Stanley is attracted to Tina and seems to be but after being denied entrance to the Coco Bongo, Stanley is stranded with a broken down rental car at the city's filthy harbor, where he finds a mysterious wooden mask. Yeah, it's so funny because, like, dude, I would have jumped in the water too, thinking that was somebody.
I would
They
have
made it look very much like somebody was
See
like,
the head or
yeah, the head's
the
moving
milk
back and
jug or
forth,
whatever
yeah,
it was, just like
and it just looks like, yeah, I'm like that does
Well,
look
it's
like
like
somebody.
whoever had the mask last almost wanted someone to find it. Like they set it up.
So I want to ask a question. Do you think that guy who initially unlocked the box at the very beginning, you think he died?
Yeah, most likely because
Because the thing came down on top of him.
his
I like to think he didn't. Because,
it wasn't just there was two of them there, wasn't there?
yeah,
Or
but
it
he was just the one guy, and the thing came down on him, and that's what, like, knocked the box open and everything like that. But, like,
I think
I feel like
not,
underwater,
but-
it can't be that fucking heavy for one. And also, you would think, like,
It'd be heavier.
underwater?
Yeah.
Heavier underwater?
Yeah.
I think he died because like
You put that shit on land and you try to lift
If-
it up, then you stick that shit in the water and you try to lift it up, you're gonna have a hard time.
Because of the down
Yeah.
pressure?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
like he died because like if he wastes all his oxygen, how is he gonna breathe if that thing's on him? Or
Well,
it
what I'm
probably,
saying though is they have to have some kind of communication. He's got a thing on. He's breathing. Why can't they just be like, well, he hasn't come up for a while?
If he's on an expedition, then they usually do. They have like the
So maybe you
some
did
kind of
Maybe he
they
didn't
get
die,
some
yeah.
kind of way
Communication
to
device?
talk
Yeah,
to
that's what I'm
the
saying.
to
And
the
also,
expedition,
why would
And
they,
or talk to the ship somehow to say like we
Right.
found it or
Yeah.
yeah. They usually do have some kind of communication if they're on an expedition.
Well, he wasn't on an expedition. It looked like they were just welding in pipe. He was like
It
a
also
pipe- he
depends
was
on
a-
how far down they are, though,
Well,
because
even then-
some divers like they don't have a way to communicate once they hit a certain depth and that's why they have like those.
Well, didn't we hear them talking at the beginning?
Yeah,
Like,
they were talking at the beginning.
yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah, I don't think they were
sometimes they
very
have those
far
wax
down.
boards, and that's the only way that they can communicate. That's the
I
only reason I know that. Once
Oh.
you get to a certain depth, they have to use wax boards because they can't communicate with the.
Right, I got you.
Yeah.
my question is why would they dump like a big stone like rod down in the
It's
ocean
a pipe.
or a pipe down in the ocean?
Well, they weren't
Repair
dumping it. They were. It looked like they were repairing some
Repairing
pipe.
it.
Mhm.
They were laying pipe,
They probably had wire that went through it.
Probably.
or it was like maybe a could be a sewage line or a
Yeah,
gas
maybe.
line, whatever it may be. Anyway, neither here nor
There's a
there.
lot of stuff like the infrastructure that goes into the
yeah,
water.
yeah.
Which he mistakenly thinks was a dead, drowned person in distress in the water. And when he gets questioned by a police officer, what's he doing down there? What's he doing down there?
What he's doing?
What you do? Yeah, why did they spell it like that? Okay, he lies to him by saying he was looking for his mask.
Because
Found
that's
it.
Perfectly.
something that somebody does.
I mean, it's Edge City, and it seems like a pretty rundown city.
Well, and not to mention if he, what are you doing down there? And he says, I lost my mask, and he holds it up. Legit.
I lost my
It just seems
mask.
weird
I
to
found
me.
it.
It is weird, but legit. He's got the
he
mask.
got the mask. It doesn't
He's got
fucking
the
look
mask.
Completely crazy.
My like
How do you know? Like maybe fell out of his hands as he was looking longingly into the water.
Well, his car broke down.
Yeah,
on the
so
bridge,
he
and
so
then
he
they
had
seen the floating thing, and he's like,
But what I'm saying is that, his car broke down, so he had his mask in his hand. He's looking out at the water because he's just mad at the world, and he dropped his mask.
Or he could just say, well, I thought I saw somebody, floating in the water, but it's apparently just a bunch of trash because this place is trash.
see, that would have been better. You just look at the mask and be like,
I think we're
And I found
going
this
a little bit
mask in the
hardcore in
process.
this one little scene that lasted 5 seconds.
For one
just
of
saying.
like half of the movie, no, I'd probably say like for a quarter of the movie, me and my parents were asking like, how do you take it off? Like, does it just pop off
And then you figure
or
it
something?
out.
Yeah, and then he just takes it off like by ripping it off.
yeah, it was a whole weird thing,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't remember that. I didn't remember that there was a way to take it off. I'm like, does it
Yeah,
just
well, if you
fall
notice
off
in
in
the back
middle?
of his head, there's like a slight seam.
Yeah, no, I could see that, but like I never remembered him ever taking it off. I thought like it might have just like fell off like while he's asleep. How the pumpkin changes into
Yeah,
changes
that
back
was
into a pumpkin
weird.
or what.
That was weird because, like, he tried when he first put it on. It started going.
Yeah,
on.
and he was
tried
trying
to
to
pull it.
yeah, and
but
it
he
wouldn't.
couldn't. And then he wakes up the next day, like,
And it's off.
Because
What
I think
happened?
that the mask, well, for one, we all know that the mask has a mind of its own, obviously, because he threw it out the window and it flew back in his window.
Yeah, I was about
I
to-
think that the mask only allows him to take it off. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you can take me off now.
Yeah, like
I've had
you
my
can-
fun. or
Well,
my
it's got to be a
fill.
plot device too, because everybody was taking it off and putting it on awful easy there at the
Right,
end.
and I think that, obviously it's a plot device, but
Yeah.
also I think that they use that sort of, it's got a mind of its own.
Well, and
kind
you
of-
could also make the argument too that like that first one, because we were making the argument, for that reason alone, was like when it was going on, like, well, he can't just take it off because he couldn't then. But you could also make the argument that like once it's on, then you can pull it off. Because if it's like, still making its way, then yeah, you can't pull it off like mid.
You think that if he tried to pull it off mid-transformation or rip his face off?
Probably.
Yeah.
You're gonna get skull.
Yeah. Yep.
and why at night?
Well, they said that he's a night god. I don't know. They just made that explanation that he's
It's
a
probably
night god.
related to the comic in some way.
Probably.
comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was based on.
It's not.
based
This
off
is
the comic.
nothing like the comic.
The comic is
say
much,
a night
much.
god?
The comic is
dirtier.
completely. No, the comic is dark.
That's what I mean.
It
It's
is.
dark
It
and
is
dirty.
dark.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's dirty. It's just dark. It's
There's
it's,
a lot of
it's
sexual.
very.
Humor. There's sexual humor in it.
Well, there might be sexual humor, but it is a lot of murder, a lot of death, and a lot of blood and gore, and
It's pretty wild.
yeah.
I'm about to start reading it.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, sounds like a good comic.
Yeah,
to
I've never
collect.
read it. I've
I'm
just
a-
seen the movie, but
I've seen bits and pieces of the
I'm a
comic.
violent person, but
Are you?
yeah,
Well, violent people talking to the mic.
I'm talking into the mic.
why would you say you're a violent person?
I mean, like, I like stuff that has blood in it. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, we all do.
Yeah, but
Honey.
Pay attention.
yeah,
Don't wander like.
Yeah, but I mean,
You're like that little kid that stands out in the field and just
You
goes.
might as well be like, yeah, well, I'm going to talk into this thing instead.
hello.
That looks like a dick coming out of my wall, by the way. No touchy.
Is that why you sit on that side?
Yeah, I'm like that. Fine. Don't ask me what the fuck that is.
It's a
I have no
pipe thing.
idea. It's just in my wall.
It
pipe
used to
thing.
be something, and
It looks
then
like
it got
it used to
capped.
be like a gas line or something. I don't know what it is. Like somebody just plugged it. Now it looks like just a penis.
It might have been.
What's
we
in
got
the
one of those
box?
down in our basement.
It's Timberland's wiener.
When they redid the gas line,
Probably.
they plugged it.
I got something that can plug.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's continue. Excuse me.
Excuse you, sir.
I gotta find out where I was here.
Where were you? That's a great question.
All right, when he takes the object home and puts it on, it comes alive. They just completely skipped over the insane
Landlord.
landlord lady.
Yeah, I don't understand her. Like, she just had it out for him. Like, he just came home.
She was flying up out of that fucking room.
yeah.
I'm not.
Like, my new carpet.
Like, I don't know anybody who like comes home and their landlord just runs out and targets specifically them.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not-
I don't understand why people specifically target him.
Yeah.
He's a genuinely nice guy. Like,
Yeah.
if I knew Stanley Ipkiss in person, I'd be like, I'm gonna be that guy's friend. He seemed like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, but specifically his landlord though, because there was like 20 other apartments in that building, and like literally he came home and she's like,
I think
fuck
that the reason
guy
why
in
she
particular.
targets him is because he lives right next door to her.
But seriously though,
She just don't like him because he's a scrawny piece of shit.
I think she's just a miserable human being, and she
Probably.
knows that he won't do anything to her.
Exactly. He's an easy target for a lot of people. That's
She's
what
a
he is.
bitch.
She is a bitch.
Yeah.
I
Something
think
bad should have happened to her.
I think the reason she's mean is just because most landlords are. Some of them can be nice. Some of them can be really rude.
I don't think I've
Stuff.
ever had a landlord that was like that.
No, because
Our
I would have
landlord
decked that
is nice.
motherfucker.
And also, why does she have like a shotgun? Like she just
Jackson
You-
asked-
that
Jackson asked the same question, like, why does she have a shot? Why does that lady have a shotgun? I was like, because she's an old lady that lives by herself. She has
in
a
a city
shotgun.
like that, I would have
Yeah,
a shotgun
you got
too.
a shotgun.
You're not wrong.
Our
No.
landlord's nice, don't worry.
Huh?
Said our landlord's nice, don't worry.
Karen?
We don't have a landlord.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So
you
our
guys
landlord is
are...
nice. Yeah, we're nice.
We're nice. Like it.
We ain't carrying no shotguns or busting
Well, we do have a.
up the place because some weirdo
Yeah.
strolls through.
Where was I? When he takes the object home, puts it on, comes alive, wraps around his head, and transforms him into a zoot suit wearing wacky green headed cartoonish figure called the Mask. A trickster unbound by any limitations, whether it be personal inhibitions or the laws of physics, who cheerfully exacts revenge on some of Stanley's tormentors.
So when he goes to put the mask on the first time and it like tries to would you go to put it on again?
I totally would.
It really.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah,
I want to see what happens.
Oh my god!
Fuck yeah,
I don't
Hey,
think so.
I don't care if it vacuums on my face the first time I'm putting that on.
I don't think so.
I would too. I would totally put that bitch
You know,
on.
when he first put it on and it started sucking his face, that gave me fucking was it Evil Dead 2? When Bruce Campbell's face was
Oh,
getting sucked?
that was that was Army of Darkness.
Was that
Army of Darkness,
yeah.
Yeah, it gave me that.
And then he comes out and his chin's all
Yeah,
down to
like-
here.
Wasn't their character in Army of Darkness, or am I thinking another movie where like his mole just keeps switching?
No, that
places?
was in
That was in Robin Hood Men.
Yeah,
Robin
Robin
Hood.
Hood.
Yeah. Wasn't his mole like
your
big
mole
one
keeps
time?
moving around. I have a mole.
I have a mole.
Wasn't it like the mole big at one time?
It was the same size every
Yeah.
time. But
Okay, so he cheerfully exacts revenge on Stanley's tormentors in a comical, goofy fashion, and terrifies a street gang that attempts to terrorize him by firing real bullets at them, but all around them showing that he is genuinely insane. But he can be a responsible man when he wants to be. Okay, whatever. I don't know what all the fuck that meant. The next morning, Stanley encounters cynical Edge City detective Lieutenant Kellaway and newspaper reporter
and
Peggy
he
Brandt.
had it out for him like 2 seconds in just
Right
because he
off the
didn't like
bat.
his,
I think
his
he's just got, like,
pajamas.
Yeah,
he
like-
just. I think that Stanley's just that guy in the city that people just don't like. Like, you should not be here. You're like more of a hometown kind of guy.
No shit.
There was this one scene that, like Daddy thought the, girl that came in like the office, wasn't cute, but I thought she was like cute. And then, whenever I saw that she was working with the thing, I was like, no, she's not hot anymore.
Then she was fine later because
You talking about Peggy? Or...
Cameron Diaz.
Oh, Cameron Diaz? We'll get there.
With the
Yeah.
antagonist.
Okay, so both of whom are investigating the mass activities of the previous night. Peggy arrives at Stanley's bank and interviews him about the mask's activities. Meanwhile, Tyrell is summoned to a meeting with Nico. When Nico finds out about Tyrell's plans to rob Edge City Bank and worries that Tyrell's criminal schemes will attract a lot of police attention, He assaults him and gives him 1 week to flee the city. Despite what? Okay. Tyrell continues his plans. That evening, Stanley wakes up from a dream and notices the mask still in his apartment, having thrown the mask out the window that morning. The temptation to again use the mask is overwhelming, and he puts it back on. Needing money to attend Tina's performance at the Coco Bongo, the mask noisily interrupts Tyrell's bank robbery and steals their target money at Edge City Savings, while one of Tyrell's henchmen and good friend Freeze is shot by police responding to the disturbance. The mask buys entry into the Coco Bongo, where he meets Tina, where at the sight of her, drops his jaw down and pops his eyes out at the same time, puts his legs up and giggles like a little boy, and finally turns his head into that of a cartoon wolf, which he bangs his head several times to get back to normal.
I saw it. There was one heart. There was one
The
part.
heart.
There was one part where like you could see like the heart beating and beating in the shirt because he kept looking at her, and obviously it was because of the mask. And it was like, oh, it was funny. I like.
Yeah, what would have been beaten if it wasn't for the mask?
His meat.
That's what I was looking for. Yep. He zooms over the rocks and
I
he
think
zooms over and rocks the joint by dancing exuberantly with Tina in front of the cheering clientele
I think
to the song "Hey
at that point.
Pachuco." Hey Pachuco.
Joseph.
What's
That's the
up?
name of the song.
I think so. I think it's
Okay.
called "Hey Pachuco."
I think both of them were beating at the same time.
Maybe. Wow.
Raising him right.
You raised him right. Yep. At the end of the dance, he gives Tina a kiss that blows off her shoes. Before being confronted by Tyrell, who shoots off a part of his mask's tie, which transforms back into Stanley's pajamas. The mask escapes while Tyrell is temporarily arrested for the bank robbery by Calloway, who finds the piece of Stanley's distinctive pajamas at the club. Calloway arrives at Stanley's apartment the next morning to ask him about the mass activities of the previous night, using the piece of Stanley's pajamas as evidence. Stanley manages to bluff his way out of trouble by telling Calloway that his pajamas were stolen last night, at the same time trying to hide away the money the mask stole from the bank in the closet.
What would have been a good lie? First of all, I didn't understand why he was freaking out about the mask itself. Like, he's freaking out about hiding the mask, which at this point in time, nobody knows that
What
the
it
mask
is,
is a
yeah.
thing. But a good lie would have been instead of just saying they got stolen, like saying, well, I was doing laundry at the laundromat, and the next thing I know, they're gone.
Somebody stole my clothes from the laundry.
Yeah, somebody stole my clothes from the laundromat. And then you could, throw the thing out there that like, oh, whoever robbed the bank stole my fucking laundry.
And regardless, though, who's to say that he's the only fucking guy that has them fucking pajamas? For all you know, he bought them at JCPenney, where they sell several of those pajamas.
I don't know, they're pretty distinctive.
And you meet the guy, and you're like, there's no way this fucking guy, this timid dude, was able to just rob the bank, and then, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that just to say they got stolen and then just end it there, that's more suspicious.
They were stolen.
Yeah. Just say, like, you were doing laundry at the laundromat and somebody must have gotten your clothes by accident out of the dryer or something. I mean, like...
What if he had a washer and dryer inside of the apartment?
I wonder.
No, it was a pretty tiny apartment.
Yeah, it was a pretty tiny apartment and, like...
Joseph.
Yeah, nah.
I really wonder what they see inside of like the mask. Like, I wonder what their vision looks like. I don't know if it's normal or be like weird.
I bet it's cartoony.
Yeah, probably like black and white. Like
Maybe.
that old cartoon.
Maybe.
Where was I? Okay. Stanley managed to bluff his way out of the trouble, telling Calloway that the pajamas were stolen. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. At the police station, Calloway and his Dim-witted partner Detective Doyle are examining the CCTV from the bank and fingerprints from some of the bank notes and discover that none of them match Tyrell or his men. Stanley arrives at work late again that morning and stands up to his boss, then gets a visit from Tina, who wishes to close her account. Stanley then agrees to arrange a meeting between her and the mask that night. Stanley consults an expert on masks who tells him that the object is a depiction of Loki, the Norse god of darkness and mischief, hence why it only works at night. Despite this, and with both Tyrell and Calloway, who now have fingerprint evidence that Stanley stole the money, hunting for him, he arranges for Tina to meet the mask at the local landfill park. The meeting, well, it used to be a landfill.
No, I know that, but the evidence, the fingerprints that they took from the bank,
Which is stupid.
Right. He
Because he works there. He fucking works
Yeah.
there.
I was counting that money probably. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? Yeah, of course you're going to find my fingerprint. I work here.
I was counting the money, sir.
Like, that is not enough evidence to put somebody away, for sure.
yeah, that was a like
I didn't realize that until watching it this time. Like, wait,
he works.
they found
there.
fingerprints at the place where he works?
Yeah, you found my fingerprints at the place where I work. Good job. Congratulations.
Do I look like that fucking guy?
Congratulations
You know what I
to
mean?
you.
It's like somebody comes up missing and he's the prime suspect, and they're like, "Oh, we got to fingerprint your apartment."
It's my apartment.
Yeah, you're gonna find my.
You're going to find my fingerprints everywhere, especially on the lotion bottle
And the toilet paper.
in the Kleenex box.
All right, it's not.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, man.
What's up, these kids and their tiny bladders?
Oh, he's got a fucking pee.
Jackson had to.
Twice.
Twice. Yeah. The meeting goes badly at first when the mask advances, and too strong nature scare Tina away, but he makes up for it with his charm and sweet nature. Both the mask and Tina are about to kiss when Calloway and his cops discover him. The mask toys with the enraged officer before zooming out of the park and tricking a large group of Edge City police officers who are waiting to ambush him into joining him in a mass performance production of the song Cuban Pete.
My name is Cuban Pete.
The mask manages to run down an alley just before Calloway and Doyle make the police snap back to reality and takes his face off. Peggy helps Stanley escape, but then betrays him to Tyrell for a mob bounty of $50,000. So, whenever Calloway is like at the end of the alley and he says, and they all like pull their guns out and they start shooting, he says, doesn't he say, "Don't shoot"? And then they all start shooting.
I thought he did too, but you said he said shoot.
Yeah, because they just stood there. And he said shoot, and they just stood there. And he's like, "Well, shoot."
I
I'm
heard
99% sure.
whenever they start shooting, he's like, "Don't shoot," and but then he starts shooting, and I'm like,
I thought he said, "Well, shoot."
I thought he said, "Don't shoot."
It would make more sense if he said, "Well, shoot," but I thought he said, "Don't shoot."
Well, they were
too.
already shooting whenever he said it. They start shooting. He's like, and I thought I heard, "Don't shoot," and then he starts shooting, and I'm like, okay.
That's a good question. I might
So
go back and watch it.
Yeah, because like I thought he said, "Don't shoot" too.
I think we'd have to watch the subtitles or something with it.
Yeah, like because they were shooting, and then he ran up and said, "Don't shoot," or
Yeah.
it sounded like he said, "Don't shoot."
He's like there. They all
And then
start
he's-
shooting, and then he's like, "Don't shoot," and then he starts shooting.
Yeah,
And
like
then he makes
he,
a comment, I missed him. He's like,
maybe-
we all missed him.
maybe he was the one that wanted to shoot him.
Maybe he was like, yeah, hold on now. I want to
Hold
shoot
on,
this
don't
fucking
shoot.
guy."
I want to shoot.
I'm gonna have to put
was
that
That's
in
what
by
it
that.
sounded like
Find
to
out.
me. But then when you said that, I'm like, maybe I misheard it. But I thought that's what he
Right.
said too.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
All right, Tyrell and his men interrogate Stanley about how the mask works, and Tyrell tries it on. Tyrell becomes a demonic, devil-like figure and decides to give Stanley to the police. Just before they take Stanley to the police, Tyrell and his men go into Stanley's apartment where they find the money they were originally trying to steal from the
Now
bank.
that's evidence.
Yeah, that's evidence.
And is that shit based on like personality?
Yeah.
Because
That's what I'm guessing is, well, he says it
he
brings
was
out
a-
your innermost desires and makes you,
It takes who you are on the
Yeah,
inside and
and
amplifies
yeah,
it.
because I was gonna say he was like a whimsical, joy or whatever, and then you get Tyrell. Who's
I
like,
think that's what the mask does, it
He's
turns
like-
you into what you truly are inside.
Yeah.
he's like a complete dickbag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically takes who you are on the inside and it amplifies it and
Not
turn
that he
it.
wasn't a dickbag to begin with. But
Yeah,
he was a green faced
Right.
dickbag.
and it gives you that like
Face dick bag.
it gives you whatever confident. Like if you're unconfident, it makes you confident. Like
Yeah.
and it just yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, because he did a lot of shit he would have never have done.
Right.
With the garage and
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
All right. Where was I? Okay. Wait, no, that's not it.
Oh nope. No.
Give me a minute. Hold on. Wait. That's not it. Okay. All right. Here we go. Just before they take Stanley to the police, Tyrell and his men go into Stanley's apartment where they find the money they were originally trying to steal from the bank. Just as they are leaving, Milo manages to get out of the apartment and follow Tyrell's car. Stanley is then literally dumped on Calloway's lap with a rubber green mask and is thrown in jail where he tells Milo to find a new home. Tina sympathetically visits Stanley in his cell where he urges her to flee the city. She attempts to do so but is captured by Tyrell and taken to his raid of a charity ball at the Coco Bongo. Hosted by Nico and attended by the city's elite, including the mayor of Edge City, Mitchell Tilton, played by Ivory Ocean.
Hold up. The mask
What about
that they dumped. Like
Did-
all the
yeah.
pictures that they had of him,
Didn't look anything like that.
the motherfucking shit had ears.
Yeah.
All the pictures that they had, he never had ears once.
Well, I think it was one of those things where they were like, just give them a green fucking mask, they'll buy it because they're idiots.
Yeah.
So I think it was one of those things like they're looking for this
Yeah,
guy.
They thought they had him hook, nail, and sinker with the fingerprints.
Yeah, so
fair
I mean,
enough.
they were just looking for
Yeah.
anything to
Nope,
sink his ass.
Nope, I get it, yeah.
Because the police department in that movie is really idiots.
Yeah, they're incompetent.
Yeah, okay, I guess
They're
that makes
just
sense.
Yeah, like I think they
Yeah,
were
'cause
just
I
looking
seen
for
that.
anything to
Yeah,
bite
because
onto.
I seen that and I'm like, it's not even the same.
I know the mask looks retarded and everything, but I'm like, I could see where they're like, oh, okay, we're dumb, let's take them in. So, the masked Tyrell
Got him.
The masked Tyrell kills Nico and prepares to destroy both the club and Tina. Meanwhile, Milo, having slept in the alley behind Stanley's cell, helps Stanley break out of his cell and they go to the club to stop Tyrell. Not before Stanley captures Calloway and his car at gunpoint. They arrive at the club where Stanley ties Calloway up. He locks Milo and Calloway in the car and tells Calloway to call for backup. Stanley sneaks into the club, and after a brief initial success with the assistance of Charlie, Stanley is captured. Meanwhile, Milo manages to get out of the car. Tyrell orders his henchmen to tie Stanley up with Tina, but Tina tricks Tyrell into taking off the mask, which she kicks into the air and recovered by Milo, allowing the dog to assume anthropomorphism. Wow, okay, that's a big word. And defeat Tyrell's men. While Stanley fights Dorian himself, Stanley then recovers the mask and wears it one last time, and the mask uses his powers and abilities to defeat the rest of Tyrell's men, saving Tina by swallowing Tyrell's bomb inside him literally and flush Tyrell down the drain of the club's ornamental fountain. Charlie, Calloway, Doyle, and the police then storm into the club and arrest Tyrell's men. Mayor Tilton comes over to Calloway and Doyle and tells them to let Stanley go because Tyrell was the mask the whole time, and Tilton calls Stanley a hero for saving everyone's lives. Then Tilton tells Calloway that he needs to have a serious meeting with him about the actions against Stanley in his office in the morning. As the sun rises, Stanley, Tina, Milo, Charlie take the mask back down to the harbor where Tina and Stanley discard it back into the water. Charlie attempts to recover the mask for himself, but is prevented by Milo, who swims away with it before he can get to it. Meanwhile, Stanley and Tina share a kiss, with Stanley saying the mask's catchphrase "smokin'" at the end.
Smoky.
The end.
I was laughing at the idiocy.
Doesn't he
Like,
also?
oh, Dorian was the mask the whole time. Obviously not.
Yeah.
Skinny newspaper picture. And then when you see him wear the
I'm pretty
mask,
sure everybody in this town is just a bunch of morons.
he looks like a fucking gorilla.
Doesn't he also say groovy?
No.
Mhm.
That's
Remember.
Ash.
I think
Oh,
that
Ash.
it's just easier to just blame Dorian.
Yeah, I get it, but
He's a dick, so
yeah, it just lends to the idiocy of everything.
Yeah, like the police department, the mayor's office, obviously they're a bunch of fucking morons, but I think in this world, I think Stanley is supposed to be the smartest guy in the room. You know what I mean? This is why everybody makes fun of him and points fingers, and because let's face it,
kind of like Idiocracy. Like
Exactly,
everybody's like, "Oh,
exactly.
what are you talking about?"
and that's what it is too. Because let's face it, most people who make fun of other people are known to be, well, they're supposed to be low on the IQ score. You know what I mean? Like they're not smart. Usually, typically, those people, bullies and things like that, bully because they're not smart.
Well, and a lot of times, like, the people that are like, "Oh, you're so stupid," like, duh, and then you're like, "No, but literally, that's really the truth."
yeah.
It's usually how it goes.
So I like, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying with like the sort of plot holes there, but at the same time, it kind of lends to the idiocracy of these people and the people that he's surrounded by.
Yeah.
So.
He's like,
Hold on, I
he's
think I got
like
a good one.
And his best friend Charlie.
He's
He's
like,
not his fucking friend. Dude.
Yeah,
That guy's a tool.
like he invites him to the Coco Bongo,
And then
because
fucking,
it's
yeah.
the hottest spot in town.
Yeah.
And then he just fucking just like.
Leaves him there at the
And then
rope.
the next
Yeah.
day he shows up. He's like, "Where'd you go?"
Where'd you go? I was looking for you all night. No, the fuck you weren't, you dick. You left me at the fucking entrance.
Yeah, like literally, you could have just turned around. Like,
I was even saying your name.
That's like.
And he's trying to Google every fucking girl that walks through the door, but like there he is with like 2 girls on his arms at the Coco Bongo. I'm like, so you need more girls, dude?
Right.
Like, what's wrong with the 2 you had last night?
right?
And as for Cameron Diaz, she used to be hot. As she aged, she just got less attractive. And I think it's got a lot. But I also remember watching her at like an award ceremony and just seeing how dumb she is. And I was just like, you're not a very bright person. I don't think I'd like you in real life. I think if I met you, I don't think I'd care much for you.
I don't think she's hot or anything. Like, the best that she looked in this movie was when she was singing.
Yeah.
But, like, when she first walked in.
She was okay.
Nah.
Like,
one of my
to me, Cameron Diaz was one of those blondes back in the day that looked like every other fucking blonde. You know what I mean?
one of my favorite scenes was the dancing scene with the mask and
That was one of my favorites
Cameron
too.
Diaz.
Oh, yeah, that whole sequence.
Yeah.
Especially when they come in. And it was when we were talking about, I don't remember what movie it was. But it was when they were shooting and it was the fucking bald guy with the ponytail.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like during that scene. And like his whole Oscar performance.
Yeah.
That whole fucking, that's probably. That is probably my like favorite scene, that whole entire sequence.
Yeah.
And then you see the fucking like superimposed crowd.
Yeah, and then like even Dorian's over there like looking at him like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even he saw them.
Yeah.
That entire scene
That's
all the way
probably the best
from
scene.
like that whole thing until they start shooting. And
Yeah.
he accepts his award or whatever. That is probably like my favorite scene from the entire
I
movie.
agree.
I agree. I think that probably would be my favorite scene from the entire movie.
I
Like, from
also
the dance scene, like with the dancing, and then all the way through that is just like it's awesome. I love
like-
that whole scene.
I love the scene where like he was in prison and Milo.
Milo.
Milo. And he just says, yeah, remember how I taught you to jump on people? Yeah, forget all about that. And
Don't jump on people? Yeah, forget
The
it.
keys, Milo. The keys.
Not the cheese.
Yeah,
not cheese, the keys.
Not the cheese, the keys.
Dude, our dogs would have been all over the
And then he
food like
just
that.
fucking lets that shit fall to the ground. Like, how you gonna waste a piece of fucking cheese? You
I dare
probably
you.
should have fucking ate it and then got the keys.
Well,
Don't let that cheese
I would
waste.
have let that, 3 or 4 seconds of you scarfing that cheese.
If it meant you were going to get the keys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
to go down.
well, I
Jack.
think I feel like
You remember that song?
It's my
The
first
cheese
song.
tax. About the
Cheese
dog, whenever
tax,
the
the
cheese comes
cheese
out,
tax.
you have to give the dog
gotta
a piece
pay
of
the cheese.
That's that. They should have played that there.
It wouldn't exist though. It wouldn't exist back then.
Obviously.
Yeah.
but
I
There's a lot of
know what you
there's a
mean.
lot
I
of
know what
good
you mean.
scenes. I think that scene is my favorite for sure. There's a lot of I love the color schemes whenever it comes to the mask too. Obviously, his mask is my favorite color. Lime green is my all-time favorite. I love that color.
That's his favorite
I
I know
You
it's
just
weird.
Lime green.
It is. It's lime green. I love the color lime green. I love
I
looking at it. It's just such a pretty.
think-
Vibrant.
I
Yeah.
think all
Yeah.
the colors are really great, except for black, things that don't really count as colors.
Black's not a color. White's not a color.
Black and white isn't a color. That sounded racist.
What?
Oh my God.
No.
It's not racist, dude. You're talking about colors, man.
2024.
I don't care.
It could be.
It could be
People-
1984, and I still
people-
wouldn't care.
People could identify as the color white or the color black. You don't know.
I don't care. I don't care.
I guess I really shouldn't say that. I like the entire spectrum of blue. That's true,
I
it
like
matters, but-
I
You're
like
wearing
all
blue.
Yeah.
I like all the colors that
Blue
don't
pumpkins.
except for I like all the
Blue
colors
rain.
that don't. Can I talk, please? I like.
Whoa.
Okay.
My bad, man.
To be fair, he actually was
I actually was
like-
talking.
mid sentence.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna beat
I
you when
would-
we get home.
I like all colors that don't I like all colors except for colors that don't count as colors. I like brown.
Yeah.
I will throw this bottle at you.
No, you won't.
Whose favorite color is brown?
He said he
I-
likes all colors.
I like all
Sure,
colors.
yeah.
I like green, brown, genuinely any color.
All right.
So this is what you interrupted us for? You want
I
to talk
never-
about your favorite colors?
You said lime green was your favorite color.
That's all I said. I didn't go on a tangent about the whole color spectrum.
I said my.
Oh yeah, get rude. See what's up.
He's threatening everybody with the bottle.
He's
now.
threatening everybody with an empty Mountain Dew bottle. If it was glass, then I'd be worried, but it's just plastic.
It's plastic.
The other
It'll
scene that I
bounce off
thought
your head.
was on par with that,
If it was
Oscar
full, it'd be
scene.
hard.
and it was a very quick part though, but I just found it funny too, was when he comes up from behind that thing when he puts on the mask again the final
Yeah.
time.
Did you miss
Did you miss me? And then I guess not. That was really funny
That
to
was
me.
funny.
Joseph, I think if it was at least this
Oh,
amount.
you're still on the bottle?
Yes.
We moved past that.
We're rolling on.
Okay. Okay, I'll give up on the bottle now.
All right, so does anybody else have anything on the movie? Nothing? All right, we're good. Solid. Let's move into our reviews then.
Let's review this bitch.
What?
Reviews.
confused.
I got you. I saw you looking around like, usually you're on it. I'm like,
I was waiting.
That's
for
a
what
nice
he was
pen you
gonna
got
say.
there. Is that Karen's pen?
Yeah, I forgot it once. And
You forgot it once,
I
and,
caught hell for
and
it.
she almost murdered you for it.
She didn't almost murder me.
Oh,
She
man.
just said, "You son of a bitch."
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll do like we normally do. We'll start with the youngest.
So
Hold on.
so I really like the movie. I would recommend it. It's really good, obviously. I have a lot of favorite scenes in it, but the
This is
Milo
the first
one-
time you've ever seen this movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen clips of it, but
That's the best part about doing this with like her, like Madison or like Jack or something like that, and then seeing first timers, man. Because like you've seen this movie, like Karen's only seen it twice, but I've seen this movie hundreds of times, and so to bring in a kid who's like, I've only seen this is my first time,
Totally green about it.
yeah.
yeah. And I really like it. I like any movie that has Jim Carrey in it. to
I
be honest.
agree.
And my favorite,
Except for the number 23.
I haven't.
Let's
That's
watch
fine.
Eternal Sunshine.
I understand that nobody
That's not
likes that
funny
movie.
at all.
Well, it's got a
Um,
few moments.
Yeah, but not nearly.
Yeah,
what
like the
you
part where they're
used
like,
to.
there's a really big person and then he's really small. Like that was kind of funny.
So I love the scene with Milo in the prison. Yeah, I really love it. I like the ending too, because like he throws it back into the ocean, and then his friend just jumps in the ocean to get it.
But then Milo gets it.
friend.
Yeah, friend.
Friend.
Remember?
That guy's a fucking D-bag.
Yeah, he was like right below Dorian.
You think you-
That dude was a career criminal.
Yeah, no shit. So what do you give it? What do you rate it out of 10?
10,
A 10?
11.
11?
That's not a thing.
So you think it's a perfect movie?
You think this is a perfect movie?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a perfect movie.
Well, then it can't be a
It's
10.
not
At
a
least
10.
at least it deserves like a 9.
A
Okay.
9, okay. I'll give you a 9. But like you're saying 10, you're like, holy shit, there's nothing better.
Yeah.
Comedy wise.
There's way better comedies.
Liar, liar.
Well, we know that there's way better comedies, but with him and what he's watched.
I would say Liar, liar is a better comedy.
Yeah, Liar,
Yeah,
Liar, Ace
yeah,
Ventura.
liar, liar.
Yeah.
Bruce
Ace
Almighty.
Ventura.
Bruce Almighty, yeah.
Now, hold on now. The Mask is top tier.
Nothing
but
beats the keyboard scene in Bruce Almighty. Nothing.
I love how people made it
My
into like
tiny
a
This
little
little.
is
nipples
top
went to
tier, man.
France.
But even Ace Ventura is
What
better
was
than
that?
this.
I like
Yeah.
how
And also, like Cable Guy, he's top tier in that, man. Like, it's not like
Prime
in this he's relying a lot on CG, and he's relying a lot on
Prime Roast.
No, prime rib. It's
Is it
prime,
Prime Rib?
prime rib.
in this he's relying a lot on CG and things like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Bruce Almighty.
Isn't there?
Yeah, they're.
I feel like isn't there a Bruce Almighty too?
There is,
Evan
but it's
Almighty.
Evan.
the dude that got
Which is
all
Steve Carell.
weird.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not
Yeah,
bad,
it's not
but
bad.
it's not
The
nearly
dude
as
that
funny
played
as
God?
Bruce. No, the guy that played the guy that was the keyboard guy, but
Oh.
not Bruce. Steve Carell.
So
Yeah, he had to build an
who
ark.
who plays Bruce? Who plays Bruce?
Bruce
not
is not
in
in it.
Yeah, it's Evan.
It's about him building an ark. He's
I'm not
essentially Moses.
watching it then. Not watching it.
It's worth a watch.
I guess then.
Or
Yeah.
not Moses. Yes, Moses, right?
Yeah,
I
Moses.
guess.
All right, Karen, what do you give the movie?
Honestly, I'd say the worst thing for me is that I found it kind of predictable.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a
Even-
very predictable.
Yeah, like even it being my second watch, like there was a lot of times like I was like, okay, like there's some scenes that are genuinely really funny, like
Yeah.
the Oscar scene, and I would say the best thing about this movie is Jim Carrey, and the
100%.
best thing about it is anytime he is on camera,
101.
and like anytime he's the mask, and anytime he's
101%.
delivering,
101%.
yeah, anytime he's delivering his comedy, giving it that rubbery man,
Mhm.
giving it his all. Beyond that, it kind of is flat for me. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's your
It's just-
opinion.
it's just
It's
not-
your opinion.
I'm not
man.
gonna hate you. If
Yeah,
you don't
right.
Like it.
Yeah, I think that's why I never watched it again beyond the first time, and then like I'm watching it again, and I'm kind of like, okay. I mean, I can understand especially like why he became a star out of it because he shines.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Against everything else in this movie. He shines. So I guess I'll give it a 6.5. I give it 6.5.
Okay, fair enough. For me, this movie isn't just a comedy that I've only seen like twice or the first time. This is a movie that I watched hundreds of times with my sister growing up. I grew up with this movie. And this is one of the first movies that really drew me into Jim Carrey. This is like probably the first movie that really drew me into Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And me and Cody grew up loving this movie, man. We watched it profusely. We could quote it, everything. So not only is it
everybody
just,
was quoting this movie when it came out, man.
Oh, everybody was running around saying smoking.
Yeah.
So I mean, there
were dolls and T-shirts.
Yeah, all kinds of shit. There was even a cartoon show.
Yeah.
But like the movie itself is fucking hilarious. Like Jim Carrey kills it in this movie, and this is why he became a bona fide, like bankable. He's probably one of the highest paid after this movie. Probably one of the highest paid comedic actors in Hollywood. Probably was the highest paid comedic actor.
Fun fact: he was actually doing this. I don't remember if I put it in trivia or not, but he did this before Ace Ventura was released. Even though he filmed Ace Ventura first, and Ace Ventura released before this, and then it became a huge hit, and then The Mask was released, and he was already blowing up or whatever, or maybe it was The Mask was released and then, but anyway, in either way, it was related to Ace Ventura blowing up.
Imagine having two major hits back to back like that.
Yeah,
like there's no way.
Well,
you are officially one of the highest paid people in Hollywood.
Well, he wasn't paid very much for The Mask because he wasn't bankable yet. And then, after Ace Ventura, it was like, oh, I'm worth something now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But this movie itself, hands down, it's got to suck putting on that makeup every fucking day for shooting. But, you could just see, because that's all him.
It got him ready for the Grinch.
Right. That's all him in that mask. That's him doing all the acting, all the stuff. I mean, there's a little bit of CG in there. For the dog scene,
the tornado,
the tornado stuff, but him spinning, him running,
the wolf,
the wolf thing, all that stuff is that's all. But aside from that stuff, that is him doing a lot of that dancing and a lot of that prancing around and shit. He's just his facial features, everything, everything he was doing was fucking.
He's a very physical comedian.
He's a very physical, and this is one of those things that showed off.
Pretty much does. Comedian was.
I know they had to have been looking at him
him and Martin Short have always been the two very physical comedians, and they kill it. You know, both of them.
But to see it, that they had to have been looking at him in living color whenever he was doing Fire Marshal Bill and all that stuff. You know what I mean? They were looking at this guy, man. They were looking at him this guy right here. He's got something. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's like I said though, it's not only that, but it's also nostalgia for me. So it rings a little higher for me. Granted, the music in it kind of dumb, but I love the musical scenes, with the dancing and all that shit. That shit was so because my second favorite scene is the cop scene. Where they do the Cuban Pete.
Oh, yeah.
That's my second favorite. Because those two scenes are my favorite by far. So for me, I'm going to give it an 8 because I fucking love this movie and it's always going to hold a special place in my heart.
For a person that watched it 2 times before, like my mom, I can see her at rating it 6.5 because it's fair. She said, it's predictable. But for a person who hasn't watched it before, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, I can see why it's predictable. It's not supposed to be... I would never ding it for being predictable.
No, and I certainly understand...
It's one of those movies that doesn't rely on that. It relies on Jim Carrey and in the comedy aspect.
And I certainly understand where everybody else is coming from, too. It's just... It's me... Certain movies just fall flat for me, and this is one of them.
And that's fine. Yeah, I get it.
He's certainly just... He shines in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that is good about it is him.
Yeah.
And you know that Oscar scene, and then him jumping up.
I
and,
will
you know,
say that the second standout in this movie is, in fact, not the guy who plays Dorian, but the guy who plays Dorian with the mask on. So
Yeah.
that dude, well, I don't know who he is or anything like that, or how he's credited in this movie, but him in this, he's very terrifying. Kind of.
Yeah,
I remember
legit.
watching him as a kid, thinking
It's
like,
not the same guy.
"It's
No, he
hell
can't
no.
be because
he's
he like
huge, dude.
he's huge,
jacked.
and like when
He's
Dorian,
got that
like
big
regular
ass neck
Dorian,
and everything, dude.
yeah, regular Dorian is not that big.
No,
That
that's
could have all been cosmetic.
no. Like I could see
that
it
was
in his neck.
legit.
Yeah, no, there's no fucking way that was the same guy. I'm gonna look it up. I'll tell you what. Let's move
Yeah,
on to
you
Jeremiah's.
got you're gonna have to look it up. 'Cause
I'm gonna look it up
I'm
because-
on here.
I'm gonna have to go with Joseph here. I grew up watching. Obviously, not me and Cody didn't grow up watching.
Right. That'd be weird.
But yeah, but you know,
Cody
I grew
would
up,
watch it with you, then she'd go over there and watch it with him.
But I grew up watching it. I love it. A lot of quotable lines.
Sure.
Like you said, a little predictable. But other than that, I mean, I'll keep watching it. I'd probably go with him. About an 8.
Okay.
Is he
So
not-
the aggregate then is a 7.875, so 7.9.
It's fair.
Yeah, I think so.
sounds right. Oh, by the way, Blake Clark was in this for about 2 seconds, or well, about a minute.
Who?
Blake Clark. He was the
The bank manager?
no, he was the newspaper manager with Peggy. Remember, he. All right, let me put this in perspective for you. I don't know, man. He likes to see homos naked, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, she
Because I
said
pointed
that.
it out. Yeah.
he
Yes,
showed up,
he
she's like,
watched-
"Oh,
he
you
walked-
like to see homos
Yeah,
naked?"
see
he
homos-
walked in. I said, "Oh, he likes to see homos naked."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
Oh man, where the fuck is he? Mayor Tilton. What is the figure?
The figure.
Maybe that's
No, that can't
Is it
be.
another movie?
no.
Where the fuck?
Maybe the figure's Rocky Dennis.
Mass Dorian. So his name is Garrett Sato. Garrett Sato. He is Asian. Holy shit, he is Asian. Why?
Why is that your reaction, sir?
Mass Dorian. Because he's not near. Like, if you saw this dude, you're like, that's him? Okay. Well, either way, he had to be in some prosthetics, man. That's him.
Yeah, he has to
He's
be in
still a
Soul
lot
Size.
bigger than Dorian is.
I mean, he's
Well, is
bigger
that
than
a-
Dorian, but still, though, I'm like,
But is that
that
like
dude
a-
looked jacked. Like, his veins were all, like, in his neck and shit.
But
like,
is that like a newer picture though? Maybe he was a lot
no,
bigger.
I don't
then.
know. Well, hold on. There's 6.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he was bigger than.
Oh, he is pretty big, actually.
Yeah. I mean, he's wearing a suit. He's more covered up there.
now
you know what I'm
he's
saying?
bigger. Okay.
Yeah.
See, now that looks more like what you could envision for Dorian.
Yeah.
But like, how
yeah.
the fuck is he wearing the makeup and stuff? And you know, because he's Asian, obviously.
He's
How don't you
Asian,
see that through
but
the
he
mask
looks the same.
while you're looking directly at Dorian's face? Like, were they able to do that in makeup, or
You look at him and you.
that is
think,
so weird that they used an Asian man to do?
Well, I mean, they're gonna add a lot of prosthetics underneath to get you. You know what I mean?
I mean, I get that, but Jesus, that's wild.
I feel like,
So okay, so he's not. Yeah, so he's from Hawaii. So he's actually he'd be Hawaiian, I guess, or
The-
well, it's still Asian, but it's
he's
it's-
Asian.
Yeah.
the first time I saw the movie, I thought that Masked Dorian
Oh, he
was the
died.
same dude.
That
he
sucks.
died?
Yeah, in 2020,
Oh, that's sad.
March
Must have
5th,
been COVID.
How'd he
in
die?
2020. I don't know. It didn't say.
Mm.
That's crazy.
I thought the first time I saw the movie,
He was only 55.
That's sad.
I thought he was the same person, but
Nah,
I
he's
thought
much
Masked-
bigger.
No, I've always known that can't be the same guy because there's no way, like, they would put that kind of prosthetics on that dude. And the way he was walking around, he's all jacked and shit.
Mhm.
Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you know, We all learn something new every day.
It's not. It's 19.
All right. Anyway, Karen, how about some of them Rotten Tomatoes?
I was supposed to do that. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope so. 'Cause
He's like, shit.
Do you want? Am I doing it? Karen's like, I got it. I was like, cool.
So what does everybody think for critics?
5.4.
54%.
It's out of 100 in its percentage.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think?
54.
What do you think the critics?
54, really? Oh wow.
Probably 10.
No, out of 100 in its
Out of 100.
percentage.
Out of 100%, what do you think the percentage is?
Jack.
I'm gonna go with Daddy.
Take that bottle from him.
You can't. You gotta
Give
pick
me
something
that.
else.
It's my baby.
No.
You have to pick something else.
You have to pick something else, like percentage-wise, out of 100.
6.
It's a competition right now.
It's a
He
competition.
chose
The person that's
50,
closest to
what
the
now?
right answer.
54.
54%. What do you think? You got to go high or low. What do you think that the critics gave this movie?
You can $1. I mean, you can go 55.
You can. But if you do, I'm going to
6.
beat you.
That's not $1.
6?
$1.
We call
No,
it. We call it that because of the
they interrupted me. 64.
64.
I still think it's higher than that.
101.
I'm going to $1 Jack. I'm going to go 65%.
I'm gonna beat you.
You would get it. It is 80%.
See, I fucking knew it.
That's weird.
Yeah, I knew it was
For
going to be
something
high.
like this,
Yeah.
critics rating it, and we're like, it's dumb.
What does the winner get?
What about
Nothing.
the audience?
Audience score is still going to be high, too.
Probably.
I'm gonna go 79.
I'm gonna
See, I was going
go.
to say 80. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go 84.
Motherfucker. Okay, I'm going to say... I think it's higher. I'm
Higher.
going to go 90.
Jeremiah got it.
Damn.
Dang it.
It's 68.
Really? It's lower?
6.
Critics rated a lot
What?
more.
Can you believe that?
I'm changing my actual score to a low 5. I'm going to go... I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
You can't do that. Cheating.
I can't be down here agreeing with critics now. Come on.
You've already
I
done
know.
it. You've already done it. You can't do it.
The critics' consensus: it misses perhaps as often as it hits, but Jim Carrey's manic bombast, Cameron Diaz's blousy appeal, and the film's overall cartoony bombast. You can't say bombast twice in like less than a sentence.
Whoever in
Keeps-
life uses it twice.
And keep the mask afloat.
What did it miss exactly?
Well, with 80%, not much.
Yeah, I mean, Cameron Diaz did okay. She was kind of just boring.
So I did
You can tell
include.
this was her first role.
I did include a couple of 4 and 5 stars in here because they were just too funny to pass up. So this is a 2-star. Humor is quickly lost, so is spontaneity, and in the end turns out to be a damp squib.
Okay.
No.
I liked it as a kid, but it doesn't hold up well for 2021. I guess the effects were kind of new at the time, but there's not enough going on here to keep my interest. This is a 0.5 star. Quite possibly the dumbest film I've ever seen, totally ridiculous and devoid of any real plot. The people giving this film high ratings most likely have low IQs.
That's the whole point.
So this is
of the
Jack's
movie.
reaction to everything you're saying.
So I don't like, I really hate it when people attack the people who like a movie, like on a personal level. You know, when they're rating a movie.
I find that offensive.
Yeah, it is offensive. It's offensive. No, like seriously, like I cannot stand that when people go, "Oh, you like this movie? You must be really stupid." Like it's a fucking movie.
Remember, there
Calm
was a
down.
study
I'm down though, bro.
years back that said people who liked
Really
low
stupid movie.
budget, stupid movies that nobody should like have higher IQs.
Because it's related to like, you know what you and I were saying that one time when we
it's a
talked to
thing.
Matt.
I believe
And we
you.
were talking about, you know, because he was like, well, you know, I don't like to watch TV and blah, blah, blah. And you and I were like, yeah, that's when we come home from work and stuff, we want to shut our minds off.
Yeah, 100%.
That's, it's related to that is like, you know, when you have a higher IQ or when you know, you do a lot of things that, you know, engage your mind, that when you go for your entertainment, you want something that's not going to engage your mind.
And I think that makes sense. But like, you can also say the same thing though. Like, you don't like the Transformer movies.
No.
They're bad. but I can be entertained by them because
Sure.
I can shut my brain off and watch some stupid fucking CG.
Yeah. No, it's
You know what I mean?
think
It's one of those things. I'm not saying that you're dumb or
No,
anything,
I
but
think it's more related to things that you can shut your mind off to.
right.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not. So there's no particular thing that you like. All right, I need this specific thing. I need something specific to shut my mind off to.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be specific. I think it's
something that you enjoy. Though,
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, like, everybody's got their junk food movie, right?
Right,
Or junk
exactly.
food
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Shark movies.
Shark movies for Jeremiah. Yeah.
Not
So-
just me, her too.
yeah, he's got.
Oh no, I know about your obsession.
That
She's
house
talked
shark
about it several times.
But that, like, and I'm not like as him. Like, I'm into all of them. But there's been a few that I'm like, this is amazing.
It's a fucking banger.
Yeah,
F-13.
that house shark movie was a banger.
What is it?
House shark.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
you telling me about that one.
F13 for me.
I hated Crocs.
Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah.
F13
Found
F shorty
these.
for Friday.
Oh my
They
god.
got fucking sharks on.
Yeah.
That's
Jim
the only
Carrey.
Crocs I'll wear. I got a pair of shark slippers too.
Yeah.
Wait, what
So
You
this
stick
is
you stick your foot in the mouth.
5-star?
this is a half a star. Jim Carrey is overrated. Bleh.
Oh my god.
Ha!
No, he's
Suck it,
not.
nerd.
Jim
Shut
Carrey is not overrated.
The
He has
thing-
a certain brand of comedy that people love. What is overrated?
well,
about
and
that?
but you're rating the movie, not him. So anyway,
Well,
The-
they're technically rating him because they.
but
Like,
no, you're not.
no,
You're rating the
But
movie.
that's the thing. You're not supposed to be
Movie,
rating
though.
him. You're
Oh.
supposed to be rating.
See,
the
if I was
movie.
rating
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, I would have
Yeah.
given the movie a higher rating
like an 100%.
because I thought Jim Carrey shined in the movie.
Jim
I
Carrey
would have
shines
given
in
it-
everything.
That's what I'm saying. So if
It's
I was
great in
rating
everything.
Jim Carrey, I would have given The Mask,
Yeah.
an 8 or an 8.5.
By 8, she means 100%.
Yes. This is a 1.5. The theatrics were over dramatic. No pun intended.
What
What
pun
pun?
was in there?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Perhaps maybe it's because theatrics over dramatic because you drama and theater, but
Dramatized
that's
theater?
Not,
Traumatized.
that's
There's
what,
no pun there.
that's not a
Dramatic?
pun.
No.
Perhaps it spoke
Your IQ
volumes.
is low. That's why you don't like it.
Perhaps it spoke volumes with the toilet tank that spoke to the theater.
What?
As
I think somebody's
another,
trying to sound clever.
you should probably keep your finger okay, because I have no idea what this person's trying to fucking say. As
Hold on.
as another said, the manic did the introduction justice. Though as a
Like, what?
though as a romantic comedy, it may be a date night for a blue moon or for a family night.
Well, Lottie frickin' God!
I have no fucking idea what you're saying.
I don't know what
It
I'm
might
saying.
be a date night.
You're
or a
killing me,
family
Smalls.
night.
For a
A blue
it might
moon or a
it
family
may be a
night.
date night for a blue moon or for a family night.
Okay. I thought
Does that make any sense
Again.
to you?
Hold up the kids and what happens.
People
They're gonna
who,
sit in an entire different booth while me and you eat food.
Watch us eat!
people who like these movies have low IQs.
Yeah.
I
This
bet
one is a
I bet
half.
that's what they sound like in real life.
This is a half a star. I found this utterly unwatchable. Every aspect maddest, the
Mhm.
worst movie of the year. I'm assuming they made this, but this is maddest.
Hold on.
Put that cookie down!
Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Which one was
Put
it?
the-
You wanted
I don't know which one it is.
which one are you looking for?
Ah, fuck it. That's what I'm going with.
Were you looking for the
I award you
points?
no points.
That is
Yeah.
14.
I don't have a 14.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's the F2 or 3 or
No, it's
something. Okay.
Oh, that's that one.
You are one
Oh, no, no.
pathetic loser.
Fuck it.
Hold
I'm
on.
going with that one.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I don't know which one it is on mine. So.
Everything felt like this is made for a 3-year-old. I'm really disappointed in Jim Carrey ending up here with his acting. Ending up here, he started there.
Yeah, he started there. Like what? What do you
They
mean?
seen everything prior.
I'm
We're like, fuck this
But
guy.
you can literally
Is that what they said? Ended there? Ended up
yeah,
there?
you can
Like-
literally look at what year it was made. Though we have Google now.
And IMDb.
Yeah,
It's called the Internet Movie Database. Try it.
this is
Man,
a
it's
2.
just 30 years old.
Yeah,
This movie? Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Holy shit, it is like 30 years
shut
old.
up. So this is a
I don't know when
2-star.
it came out.
Watched this as a child and thought it was funny. My wife had never seen it, and all I did was talk it up. Once the movie started, I realized how unfunny it really was. I don't think I laughed the entire time. She also didn't like it. It was very childish and has a lot of slapstick cartoon comedy.
Then watch it with your kids.
That just hasn't aged well. Maybe they don't have kids.
Then get some.
Well, that was,
like, don't watch this movie and go bang her and get her pregnant.
When he first walked in, the first thing he did was put in the tape, which was exactly what they just fucking described.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
The story plot is also very predictable and boring. I wouldn't have said it boring, just predictable.
Yeah, I agree with predictable.
Yeah, it's not boring though. I am glad it helped get JC going, but for me, this is just
JC. Oh, you know,
yeah,
you know him like that, huh? Yeah. You know him like that. He's fucking JC.
But for me, this is just
we'll get on my level where we call him JK.
This is just not a good
Jim
movie.
Carrey.
Good movie anymore. It's mid at best.
Mid?
Jesus.
We call him Jim Carr around here.
We call them Jim Carr.
Okay. This is a 5-star.
Oh dear.
And all in capitals, LOL. 17 exclamation points. Starring Jim Carrey and introducing Cameron Diaz, another 17 exclamation points.
Was it really 17?
Mm-hmm.
Does it say 17?
I counted them when I put this on here just because I wanted to be able to tell you.
So
that's literally all it says.
I don't.
LOL, 17 exclamation points, starring Jim Carrey and introducing Cameron Diaz.
Quite honestly, though, if you're not familiar with this movie already, Cameron Diaz doesn't mean shit to you in this movie.
But
you're
I'm
like,
just saying,
it's her first movie. Who cares?
I'm just saying, why is that a 5-star review?
Yeah, why is that?
You're saying LOL, starring Jim Carrey and introducing Cameron Diaz. That's all you're saying.
I don't.
They love it that much.
Apparently.
They love it.
We needed more Amy Yazbek in this movie.
But
she might have been a dickhead.
I agree, dude. I'll be honestly, I agree.
I would have rather her been.
Yeah, she's got the more comedic background. You know what I mean? Like, why not have more of her in it?
Yeah, her switch those two roles.
She's definitely underutilized.
2 words. Shit. First word's Bob.
Saget.
Iger?
No.
Bob.
What's his last
Weinstein?
name? No. New line.
Oh, Bob.
Shea.
Bob Shea.
Yeah.
There's your word. There's your 2 words.
Oh yeah, dude.
She's not hot enough.
He was gay in Nightmare.
And it took him 30 years to realize it. This is another 5-star.
Okay.
Smokey. 8 out of 10.
Smokey, not smoking.
Smokey.
Yep, that's Smokey. Smokey.
Smokey
Sounds
like
the
the
dollar
Friday.
Smokey.
That's the dollar store version of fucking the mask.
That is too. Someone made a like a knockoff version of the mask.
The Friday character or
No, they got the.
I know. I'm making a joke.
All right, you're not gonna understand why everyone's laughing when I read this, but just trust me
anyway.
that it is funny. All right, this is the last one I got. It is a 1/2 star. You guys ready?
Yep.
Born ready.
Pal.
Jim Carrey's portrayal of Rocky Dennis shoots for the moon, but is ultimately not nearly as poignant or heartwarming as Eric Stoltz in the 1985 version, and the filmmakers leave a lot to be desired. What was with the muffler in the butt? What does that have to do with Leonidas? I commend the attempt to try something new, but some things are better left alone. Not every franchise needs a reboot.
That was fucking amazing.
I don't get it, but I just laughed. I don't know
That is
why.
fucking amazing. By the way, I'm pretty sure those movies came out in the same year.
No. Mask came out in 1985, but they legit thought this was her.
Are you crying? Karen's crying. That's how fucking stupid you are. Either that or you did that shit on purpose. I hope you did it on purpose.
I hope it has to be on purpose.
It has to be on purpose.
Oh my god. Dude,
That
you
is
know how
stupid.
hard I wanted to tell
Was it
you
really
that when I read it.
1985?
Huh? 1985.
Because I remember watching Mask and thinking, oh, it's the Mask, and this ain't the Mask.
Dude, you know how hard I
That
wanted to
makes
tell
it even
you.
funnier because when y'all drew it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
the Rocky Dennis one or whatever it was.
That fucking movie. That movie actually used to give me nightmares. That dude's face scared
What?
the shit out of me.
What? Huh?
It's a serious movie about a kid that had a disease and his face.
It was like elephantitis or something. Some kind of elephantitis in his face or some shit.
There was a movie that we watched. There was a movie that we watched in class where, I forgot what it was called, but it was like a kid with like a disfiguration in his face, and I forgot most of it.
Kid movie?
Yeah, the Rocket Kid.
I don't think it was actually called the Rocket Kid, but it had
something like that. It had my dude in it.
I forgot what his name was.
No, yeah, it had Owen Wilson in it, but it had that one kid that I really like.
Oh yeah, Jake Tremblay.
Yeah.
What is it?
Rocket Kid or something like that.
I forgot what the name was, but we watched it in class, and yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay. All right, is that all you got?
That was it for
Holy
Rotten
shit,
Tomatoes.
we still got to get to trivia here.
There's not much.
Okay, well, let's move on into trivia.
Wonder.
Oh,
Wonder, yeah.
Wander,
like WONDER.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
Never seen it. Never had any interest. But
I've seen it.
Let's move on into trivia. Let's get into that with Karen because we're running low on time.
Yeah.
The banana yellow suit that Jim Carrey wears is based on a suit which his mother made for him for his first attempt at stand-up comedy.
Wait, what is it?
The banana yellow suit that Jim Carrey wears is based on a suit which his mother made for him.
Oh, I thought it was the suit. I was like, holy shit.
That'd be funny.
His mom should have been a tailor.
The oversized teeth on the masked character were originally to be used only during silent scenes. However, Jim Carrey learned to talk while wearing them to make the character that much more wacky.
He did a really good job, I'll be honest, because them teeth are huge.
I know. I thought that like maybe there was some kind of prosthetic in there to help him.
Dubbing or something.
I like whenever he first had the mask on, I noticed his teeth and I was like, "Are his teeth bigger?" And
yeah, they're supposed to be more bigger.
It's supposed to be more cartoonish.
Yeah, cartoony teeth like that dog in the TV. He had big teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though, like dogs don't have that big.
Did you ever
teeth.
see the sequel? The Son of Mask?
Once years ago, and I tried to forget about it.
I've never seen it.
Is Jim Carrey in it?
No.
It's Jamie
Kennedy.
Would you recommend it? Would you recommend it?
I've never seen it. I've always been interested.
Don't watch it.
It's a terrible movie,
bad.
and that's what I do. We watch them. See,
I mean, you can watch it if you want, but it's not good.
I heard it's just bad though.
Yeah, it's not good bad. It's just bad.
I don't really care.
You're gonna watch it anyway?
It can be good, bad. It can be terrible. I've seen some pretty
Either way, I've
terrible
watched
movies.
it. Now I can say I've seen it, and that's it.
The producers hated the Cuban Pete musical number and wanted it gone. They insisted that it was too long, not funny, and dragged.
I liked it.
Test audiences loved it so much that they kept it in.
It wasn't that long. It was like, what, 3 minutes?
3 minutes?
Not even.
They just wanted to, my name is Cuban Pete, and they wanted to fucking end.
Let's go ahead and cut it there.
Chuck Russell revealed that a lot of money was saved on special effects after Jim Carrey was cast. Carrey's body movements were so flexible and cartoonish, they didn't see the need to enhance them digitally. Most of Jim Carrey's lines as the mask were ad-libbed. Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz did the majority of their own dancing in the Hey Pachucho scene. Doubles were used for the more advanced moves, usually when we see them dancing from an overhead angle.
That's kind of what I figured too. I figured the straightforward shots were more
because you can always
but
always
above
tell
them,
it's them.
You can see them really moving around. I was like, yeah, that's definitely not them. You know what I mean?
Based on a Dark Horse comic book series of the same name, which frequently comprised very dark horror stories on how the mask would murder people with cartoon antics. Chuck Russell...
That sounds amazing.
Chuck Russell has said that the movie script started off in that same tone before being transformed as a vehicle for Jim Carrey's unique comedy.
Which was a good fucking idea.
The dog who played Milo was named Max, which is also the same name of the dog in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which also starred Jim Carrey.
There's also the kid in Liar Liar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
His name was Max too.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have a...
Because he calls him Maximilian.
The Max trilogy.
Maximilian! Yeah, that's it.
Nah, we should have a Mask TV series.
I feel like it'd be a
on
little...
Amazon.
Didn't they have a cartoon?
No, not a cartoon, like a live action.
He's saying like a live action mass series.
Like they do with the boys and
like from
shit
the
like
comic
that,
book.
I think
Dude, I'd watch
too
the
late
fuck
to
out
do
of that,
that.
dude.
like
That'd be
mainly
awesome.
focused on shit that happens.
Well, Stanley, from what I read, Stanley doesn't last very long.
I think the mask does bounce around from person to person because I've seen
No, that's fine.
I think it
stretched
lasted
with women and
Yeah,
all
I think it
kinds of
lasted the
different-
longest with his girlfriend, like, because she ends up killing him because
And
of
I'm
the
perfectly
mask,
fine
and then
with
she
that.
ends up with the mask, and like it's a whole thing. That's what
Yeah,
I read.
think it would be cool to do something like Amazon's doing with the boys, and all that, like to have a series based off of the comic to stretch out.
Yeah, but if they're gonna like kill off characters, I don't know. I'd have to read the comic to actually know for sure. I think I'm gonna buy some of these comics. Actually,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get into some of these comics
They
and
might
see.
have trade paperbacks.
They may even have just like novels.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
full volumes
I
and
just
shit.
read a little bit in doing the trivia and like kind of little bits about the
Right.
the series, and that's what I gathered from it was that Stanley didn't last very long. The girlfriend had it the most, and
Like
then
the girlfriend from this movie, like
no,
that same girl,
no,
or
no,
a different
no,
girl.
no. She was. I think she was made up for the movie.
I didn't know if it was like she
The
was
girlfriend
like
he
something
had
from
in the comic was a living girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And I think Stanley Ipkiss's character was only picked because he was like the nicest guy in the comic. And he wasn't really like a main person or
I'm
anything.
gonna have to
He
check
just-
out this. I wonder if
that.
they got
I
volumes.
don't quote me because it was just me learning a little bit.
I don't like buying comic book after comic because especially like original comics like that can get fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So if I can find a full volume of
Yeah.
like a series of comics, I'll
Yeah.
buy that
Yeah.
because they get
got an
pricey.
Omnibus,
What is it?
$22.
What is
I
it?
think it'd be
Omnibus.
too late to
What is
do like
that?
a series for the mask.
Not based on the movie. They're talking about based on the comic.
If they were talking about the movie, then yeah, it'd be too late because they made
It's a
the
series
movie
like
in,
right there.
What's it
Like
called?
I've always just trade
They
paperbacks,
made
but
the movie
I think an
in
omnibus might be
1994,
everything
so
Yeah.
because it was only like three
it's like 30
three
years from
series.
now.
I've already got the last Roman. You kicked that out of there.
Well, that ain't a part of it. That's Ninja Turtles. That's just
I know.
associated with it.
Okay, so
Supposed to.
I wonder if they stopped making this comic. Okay, so here's one of them, and they want $22 for the paperback.
Yeah, it's like 3 series. Like if you read the description, it tells you what's involved with it or what comes in it.
The weird mask, unknown origin, power, blah blah blah.
What's it?
Okay, homicidal mayhem, lunacy, and destruction. Okay, so there's 2 of these, what I would say probably are novels. And then there's, holy shit. There's this one here, I don't know. Dude, the paperback cover alone looks awesome. Just for the second volume. Yeah, I'm going to have to check these out. I would totally buy these.
Yeah, they're not very expensive.
No, they're not expensive at all. Like this one right here is more expensive, and it's still $15.59. I'm gonna have to check these out. I think I will buy these. I'd love to read those, just to see like what the difference is between the movie and the comics.
Let me know if they're any good. I might
Yeah,
get into it.
it'd be awesome. I want to check those out. But I'm also like, people watch Invader Zim from back in the day, what they don't know is the creator of Invader Zim, Jonan Vasquez.
Yeah,
He's a comic book creator, and before he did Invader Zim, he made a comic book called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Yep.
And he also did another spin-off comic of
Squee.
Yeah, Squee. So, and I had the Johnny Homicidal Maniac because it was only like 7 issues or something. It wasn't
Yeah, it
very
wasn't a long one.
Didn't last
7.
long.
I got them.
Yeah, and it was dark, dude. Dark as fuck. Like he had to keep his wall soaked in like wet with blood from murdering people, or else the monster from the other side of the wall would come through and kill him.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking wild. But that's just, some people who make these kiddish cartoons and things like that are just dark and demented. So
Invader Zim's good though.
Invader Zim's a shit. It's one of my favorite cartoons.
Never
Sorry, you
watched
can't
it,
see
but
it,
I
you
do
can't-
love Zim.
You should watch Zim.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, I've got the Urkin Invader symbol. Anyway, that's it. What's in the box? What's in the fucking box? Yeah, what's in the fucking box, Karen? RoboCop.
Great question. What is in the box?
Let him pick it.
Oh yeah. Here you go, Jack. Why don't you pick?
Get in there and pick it,
Pick
dude.
one.
What's in it? Like movies that we watch.
It's a creature. It's gonna eat your hand off.
RoboCop
Yay!
for a couple of weeks from now.
The Fly.
That's the remake, right? Yeah.
You're not gonna
All
start
right.
from the original.
Do I put it?
You're just watching the remake.
Yeah, just a remake. Yeah,
Yeah, just put it in that pile.
just a remake. The one with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. So I guess, well, we already did Jeff Goldblum, correct?
Yeah. So probably Gina Davis.
Probably Jeannie Davis, which we haven't heard
Wait,
much out of.
Did we? Hold on. I'll look.
Did we do her or Jeff Goldblum? We
I
did
don't
Jeff
know.
Goldblum, I think.
Looking.
I think you did Jeff Goldblum. Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah, I think we did Jeff Goldblum. Because I remember thinking, like, well, if we ever pull The Fly, we'll just do Gina Davis.
Wasn't Fifth Element on one of the podcast episodes?
Not yet.
Not yet. I think it's in the box, isn't it?
It's in the box.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, okay, so next week will probably be Gina Davis.
She married Jeff Goldblum,
Hot
and then she was
gosh.
in A League of Their Own and Beetlejuice.
I already know my favorite movie for her. Anyway, next week we're going to do The Fly from 1980.
Something.
And I only have the first one in here because we're not doing the sequel, right?
No,
The
we're
Fly.
not doing the
I'll
sequel.
watch it. I'll watch it.
1986, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
I think so.
If I can come
Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis. Watch that shit. It's a Cronenberg movie.
About the only one I like, really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the only one. I'm sure there's more I like, but
Right,
that's
but this one here
off the top of my
stands
head.
out.
Yeah, off the top of my head, this one is one that I really do like.
This one definitely stands out.
86, yeah.
Brundlefly.
Yeah. And
I
this
do
is
know-
one of my
I need
this is
to
probably
watch
one of
the
my
original.
all-time favorite horror movies. It's just it's awesome. It's up there with like The Thing and shit like that. So anyway, next week we're going to do The Fly. Don't forget to check out our socials, our TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then don't forget to come over and, well, talk to me anyway on Discord.
Twix.
I'm never gonna live it down
You'll
a
never.
couple of weeks, and
Anyway, we'll see you guys next week whenever we do The Fly.
Say bye.
Jack.